Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How does the FBI find people? The people is misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
Because he's the guy.
Alrighty. There we go. Good morning. Happy No Pants Friday. Welcome to No Pants Friday. I see you're all participating. Yeah, you didn't know this camera works both ways, right? No, just kidding. Welcome. It's great to have you here. I'm trying to figure out how to get my chat to work. Just 1 second. There we go. All right. There we go. Now we're cooking with fire. All right. Crazy day yesterday. Oh my goodness, it was so busy. It was busy here. It was busy elsewhere. It was busy all over the place. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about what's coming up this morning. We're going to have like a two-parter this morning because I believe the events from this morning will conclude fairly quickly in the Treehouse trial, and then we're going to have a break until after lunch. So we're going to have some things to talk about. But good to have you all here. It's especially good to have Ashley here. Ashley was first in chat today, and Ashley, being first in chat comes with a punishment. Okay, we've warned you. We told you what would happen, but you either disregarded or flagrantly disobeyed the rules, and there you broke the calm silence of the morning by typing in chat. And as punishment for that, we're going to sentence you with the internet. And Kim R just right there. That's actually how we transfer it. Kim did it right there. She entered the command. The internet is now yours to do with as you please, as long as you keep it working for everybody else. Thank you so much, Ashley. Appreciate that. Deb M says, just found this channel yesterday. Deb, where have you been? Where have you been, Deb? So glad you found us. This is a fun group. I hope you enjoy it here. We're excited for you. For those that... well, Deb, you might not know. Last night we had a fun podcast. It's normally Thomas and I, who, Thomas and I do the podcast, the Not Relevant podcast. It's just it's sort of like some people call it a palate cleanser, just a, relaxation, blowing off steam, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice break from some of the heavy stuff we follow in trials day in and day out. And so we had that. But Thomas went off on a skiing vacation to Colorado. And left me in the lurch. No, just kidding. This was planned a long time ago, and he was nice enough to call in from the hotel, from the mountain lodge, wherever he was.
Because he's the guy.
And my wife joined me on the podcast. It was wonderful. We've done stuff like that before, but it was awesome having Mrs. RA with me last night for the podcast. If you missed that, please go watch it on the replay. It was a lot of fun. You guys were great. Debbie Wilson corrects me. It's not just No Pants Friday. It's Passionate No Pants Friday. I forgot we added the passionate to it. But that is great. We have just a few minutes to get going to what we need to do. First of all, my eye hurts. I pet the cat and then I rub my eye. And so if it turns all red and swollen shut, that's why. But let's see. We have, will the defendant be on time? I hope so, because if he's not, there will be a warrant for his arrest and he will not be going home at the end of trial. They're just going to say, how about you stay here for the weekend? And that way on Monday, you'll be here. And honestly, that will be a serious hindrance to his ability to prepare for his case. So I'm hoping he's on time. See, we have a couple birthdays this morning. Terry Cabani, Corey is 3 today. Happy birthday. That's a big 3, Corey. Congratulations. And then birthdays tomorrow are Patches, Sarah Cambridge. So we're going to sing to all 4 of them. We've got Terry, Corey, Patches, and Sarah. How this works, Deb, for those that are new, how this works, we sing to everyone who has a birthday. Because it's Friday, we might sing to people who have Saturday birthdays as well. Monday, we'll probably catch up with the people who have, a birthday on Sunday. But so how this works is it's not where you just sit there and listen. You're required. It's part of watching the channel. I'm not sure if you saw the fine print when you clicked on it, but you have agreed, and we've got verified. I've got the whole auditor. What's that stamp? It's been certified by a notary. Yeah. So you've agreed to sing with us. That's what it boils down to. So this is where we're at. The song is coming up. It's an easy song. It's Happy Birthday. You sing along. We say the names, and that's how it works. But everyone, you practice your part. We expect you to get better each time we sing. And just listen to your neighbors, because your neighbors are singing as well. So here we go. Everyone back straight, deep breath, shoulders back. Remember your parts. Warm up now. La, 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 la. There we go. Project. Back of the room, guys. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Terry, Corey, Patches, and Sarah. Happy birthday to you. That was good. That was really good. Deb, I could hear you join in. And you might say it was just one voice amongst many, but it added something. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys singing. To everyone who's celebrating their birthday today, happy birthday. Thank you so much for celebrating with us here today. It is awesome. We love that. And Megan, is it Megan's birthday too? Or Dusty Den says Megan was just in time. Let's see. All right. I owe Dr. Joe a text really quickly. I'm not sure if he's in chat. But let's see. Happy birthday. Get your pancakes, stretch those jaws, cha-cha-cha. That was perfect. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful birthday. Thank you for of all the places you could celebrate. Here you are with us. That's not lost on me. That's special. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your special day. Hope we can make it better. Let's see. Corey Hill says, that moment when you have more viewers than Law and Crime for the same court case. Corey Hill. Oh, man. It's happened a couple times. Yeah, it's fun. We have a great community here. What can I say? It's not that that I'm bringing you something that you can't find anywhere else. It's that we have a community here that you can't find anywhere else, and that is Corey, in part because of you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you. Appreciate you being here. All right, we are. Let's see. Vicky says, if he's not on time today, I quit. I think he's going to be on time. Two things make me think he's going to be on time. The judge pushed the start time out to 9:15. Right, so we have 16 minutes from right now for him to arrive. So hopefully, if he arrives or he follows his same schedule he did other days, instead of saying, "Oh, I've got an extra 15 minutes to leave," if he follows that schedule, then we're going to be good. I forgot the birthday music was going in the background. Corey Hill says, never have donated to LNC, only the addict. Thank you, Corey Hill. Appreciate that. I do appreciate it. They serve their purpose. They really do serve their purpose, and I can't complain. What they do is expensive and difficult. It takes a lot of work to do what they do. I know, because we do a lot of that same work. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Cindy Sanders says, hi, everyone. Love your channel. But I have been... But today, I'm not sure what this word is, but I've been 13 years being clean and sober in recovery on February 14th. Isn't that like Valentine's Day, Cindy? What a great Valentine's Day gift. 13 years clean and sober. That is awesome. That is worth celebrating. Congratulations. My applause goes out to you, Cindy. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let me talk about a couple things. Let's see. Angela says, last night I had my own little true crime happening in my own neighborhood. Police chase and shelter in place. That's why I did not rejoin you on last night on the live. Oh my goodness. Angela, you might need to move. Wow. That sounds scary. Thank you for sharing that as well. Ash Axiom just gifted one membership. What a way to kick off the Friday morning. Thank you very much, Ash, for doing that. Let's see. Where did that one go? That went to Julie F. Congratulations, Julie. All right. We have a couple things. Let me catch you up to speed, because there are a couple court cases we're all interested in, but we aren't following closely. that had big things happening yesterday. First of all, in the Delphi case, the Supreme Court of Indiana ruled on that, and it's been crazy. I mean, I can't catch you up to speed because there's so much going on. It's just bizarre. Okay, and this is like extracurricular sort of to the court case itself. But if I remember correctly, let me check my notes and see what happened yesterday. We had don't upgrade storage. I don't want that. We've got so Richard Allen. He's accused of murdering the two girls, and this is tragic. This is a terrible, terrible case. Okay, he went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court decided that his attorneys should be reinstated. That we're off the case. Now they're back on the case, and I believe they reinstated his right to a speedy trial. So they have 70 days from yesterday to take this to court. That's my understanding of what happened. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. So that's huge. Okay, that puts him on the calendar for early spring, summer time frame. Then we have in Idaho, in Chad Daybell's case, we have the judge heard an argument from his lawyer, John Pryor. John Pryor puts in this big long thing saying, hey, I'm asking to be removed from the case. He's not appointed. He was hired. He's asking to be removed after like 3.5 years of representation. And the reasons he gives is like, well, I'm not getting paid. And, he's broke. He can't pay me anymore. And so, it's not fair for me to work without money. And he gives some other reasons as well. But then when he goes to court yesterday and argues this motion before the judge, he tells the judge, I could care less about. I could work this case without money. I mean, I'd like to get paid, but it's fine. I'll be fine. I'll survive, right? I'll survive. It's really just the death penalty case. He needs 2 people, and the judge listens to all this and is like, no, sorry to make you work for free, but you're on the case. You can't leave. So John Pryor's on. Chad Daybell wants to keep John Pryor, but so now Chad Daybell gets John Pryor's services with no more money exchanging hands. I guess, I don't know, maybe you can put a lien on his jail cell. I don't know how that's going to go down, but that was interesting. So that's moving forward as well. Giving up my buttercup treats for you. Thank you, Princess Buttercup. That is a sacrifice. I appreciate it. I'll buy something for the cat with it. Would that offend you? I spent, after last night, there was so much going on yesterday. I just needed to mentally calm down from all the things that were going on. And I went out on the porch swing. It was 41 degrees. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, right? Went out on the little porch swing and sat down. And the minute I sat down, the cat jumps up on my lap. And it just it goes into turbo purr mode. It's just he just does this purring thing super loud. So I pet the cat for 45 minutes until I couldn't feel my toes because it was cold outside, and then I came back in. Anyway, it was very relaxing. I'm not sure why I told you that. No to speedy trial. They have to refile it.
I don't know who won.
No to the speedy trial. I thought they had 70 days. What was the 70 days, Kathy? Doesn't need a specialist lawyer for that. Julie, the judge didn't, and we're talking about the John Pryor, Chad Daybell incident. The judge didn't say you can't, you have to represent him on your own. He says, yeah, you can get a second person. And I don't know how that works. As a second person, is it going to have one hired lawyer and one court appointed? What? I don't know. It was, just crazy stuff. So we'll keep an eye on that. Karen Reed, there was a hearing in Karen Reed as well. Oh, they wanted 70 days. The Supreme Court denied. Okay, so in my haste to get caught up, I missed the important details there. Oh my goodness. Yes, the cat and I are very good friends. My kids actually, Regina, my kids come in and they're like, Dad, the cat wants you to pet it. They're not no, the cat wants me to pet it, or the cat's really needy, or the cat's meowing a lot or something. It's no, Dad, the cat wants you to pet it.
Someone with more experience.
So it does like me. I don't know why. I have to watch the hearing, Angela. I've got to go back and watch that. Okay. Only yes to new lawyers for now in Delphi from court. The rest they'll have to do. Okay. So there's more coming. We'll see how that goes. They're filing a motion for speedy trial. It will be in 70 days after the motion is filed. I think there was something about 70 days from the date the motion's filed. Karen Reed has it's the craziest case. Ashley, oh my goodness. Karen Reed, the back and forth on Twitter about the Karen Reed case is the most bizarre and wow. The sides are so polarized. I've never seen a case like this that is so polarized this early on. And honestly, I say this early on, but a lot of people are saying this will never go to trial. That's the developments that are happening. Hang on, Karen. I'll come back to you. The developments that are happening are so huge. This is literally going to derail the trial, and it will never happen. So we'll see. See, Patty B, member for 2 months, says, "Love the way you cover cases. Let's hope Tucker's not late today." I hope so. I hope he's on time. Let's see. I missed a super chat in here. Where was it before we went live? Let's see. Nope. Someone's calling on the phone already. Let's see what's happening here. I'm trying to accept.
Call from Kayla.
Kayla, how are you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
Oh, it's Friday. I can't complain even if I wanted to. What's up?
Yes, and it's No Pants Friday for you.
No Pants Friday.
So
love it. Hopefully nothing
even
needs to be
better,
fixed
yeah.
over in this side of the room during the live stream. So for
That's
your
true.
sakes.
Yes, yes, thank you for that. So you were talking about Delphi.
Yes.
I don't know if somebody's mentioned it because I was on the phone. And they really interrupted me listening to you. So I don't know if anybody mentioned it, but Nick McClellan, I think is the prosecutor's name.
Okay.
He actually put in a motion to upgrade Alan's charges. He motioned for kidnapping.
We're going to add
along with murder.
So they're trying to shoot the moon here.
Yes, and he filed it 30 minutes before the hearing with the Supreme Court.
Wow. Now, tell me, if you follow this, catch me up on what's happening with the FBI. What information is about to be released on both sides? There's something about a Boston Magazine interview, a reporter. They're trying to get information about Karen, and then something the FBI has about the other side. What is out there that nobody's seen?
With Karen Reed or with Delphi?
With Karen Reed. Sorry, I'm talking about Karen Reed.
I have no idea about Karen Reed. I haven't been following that one.
Okay, so
as closely as everyone else.
In my head, I was still thinking Karen Reed when you said that. So now let me go back over. Richard Allen, that is the suspect in the Delphi murder case. They just added the charge of kidnapping. I'm sorry, it's still Monday in my head.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I'm driving while I'm typing your number, so you're fine.
You called the right number, and I got the wrong case. So you are doing better than I am so far this morning.
It's all right. It's all right.
Man, so additional charge of kidnapping. I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. That'll be interesting. I think that doesn't seem like a stretch for me with what we know about the case already.
No. Right. I still think, and I don't know if anybody else does, I still think that there are more people involved.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
I wonder if they add the extra charge because some of the evidence that actually ties them to the murder might be weak or circumstantial, and they want to get him any way they can, right? So
to cover any appeals that could happen in the future.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. All right.
That's
Thank you for the update. Drive safely. I appreciate you straightening me out.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Wonderful. My brain is still not turned on yet today. Debbie says, "Here's to the true crime sensory overload." Yes, that's definitely it. Debbie, thanks for the 2 months of support. Also, Jen Jams, 2 months of support, says, "Yay, 2 months. Thanks for the great content and community." Thank you, sir, very much, Jen Jams. We're going to do a quick. Let me go back here. I need to make sure we get court. Wait. We'll get everything lined up. Okay, we have audio set up. This one off. That one reset. That one audio follows video. All right. I need to get Dr. Joe a message this morning because he's waiting for me. So I'm hoping as soon as court starts, which they're very close to starting. You can see. Well, the defendant is not there yet. We have 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's 9:10. Prosecutors are there. Bailiff is there. Let's see. I think that's Butler Bailiff is there, as well as the main bailiff. Ashley says that whoever gifted me, thank you. Must have missed it yesterday. Ashley, good to have you back in green. 7 months, by the way, Ashley. 7 months of membership. Thank you very much for being here. All right. I'm hoping he shows up. Man, this would be so bad. I mean, I realize this is near the end of the case. And there's a chance, you guys, there's a chance in this case that it ends today, that it's over today. It ends this morning. It might never get to this afternoon. It's a very slim chance, very, very slim. But we do have the directed verdict, or JOA, as the judge is referring to it, which is a judgment of acquittal, which Mr. Tucker still has to make in a verbal motion. This is something, it's a procedural thing he has to say. The judge can't just say, well, you mentioned you were going to file this, so I'm going to jump the gun, and here's my response to your filing you haven't made yet, your verbal filing you haven't made. He still needs to make this. There's some words he has to say. There's some argument that will be on both sides related to this that he needs to make. And I don't think the argument here is as crucial. I think it would be helpful, but I don't think it's as crucial. It would be helpful if he understood all the elements of every charge and was able to say, this was never addressed by them. This was never addressed by them. They haven't proven X, Y, and Z. There was no evidence put in. Those are the sort of things that would help him in this argument. You're going to hear the prosecutors say, either they're going to be lengthy and rehash all the evidence they have, which is mostly circumstantial, or they're going to say, Your Honor, I feel that you have to look at this in the light most favorable to the state, and we believe we've provided sufficient evidence on all counts and all the elements to convict him. The jury should be able to do this. So we're going to hear arguments about that this morning. Amy L. 2022 gifted 10 memberships this morning. Thank you for your generosity, Amy. Let's see who the lucky recipients were. Nikki says, wow, at the end of my third RA trimester. 9 months, Nikki, 9 months. That is great. Let's see. The gifted memberships went to Scottish Squirrel, Krista Johnson, Terry Hilton, Cranky Jordans, Sonia Torres, Jessica MCFC, Kim Jeffrey, Margaire Ferenz Slattery. Margaire, I think it's pronounced that wrong. I apologize. Tina Hojoboom, Sarah Sherwood. I think that's all. I think that was the 10th. But congratulations. Thanks for that. Let's see. Sheree says, KR case. There's the other prosecutor. Man, it's so close. We've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. He needs to be here. The FBI is investigating the investigators. They've indicated, this is Karen Reed, they've indicated they have significant issues. Commonwealth wants journalists' notes and recordings from an interview. She's been getting threats. I don't, Sheree, do you think this will actually go to trial? If the FBI is saying, hey, we've got some stuff to give you. Genuine Heidi gifted a membership as well. Memberships are flying this morning. Thank you so much for your generosity. Genuine Heidi, that one went to Sunny Florida Mom. Congratulations, Sunny Florida Mom. Lois Cox says 2 minutes, cutting it close. That chair's still empty. And I realize it's a little bit delayed, but by my clock right now, which is, I believe, accurate, it's 9:14:30. So he has 30 seconds to get to court before the judge walks in. And you know that the prosecution is going to stand up and say, Judge, it's time to issue that warrant. Oh, man. It's a capias warrant. They're going to say it's a motion for capias, and the judge will comply, I think. This is bad news. This is bad news. Oh, man. All right. He's got to be... I wonder if he's even in the building. The bailiffs know if he's entered the building. They'll radio in and let the judge know. It's 9:15. It is time. Any second now, the judge is going to come walking in and say, good morning. We delayed 15 minutes for the defendant to make it on time, and he's not here. The judge has laid down the law. This is the last time. Karen Reese says, I was randomly informing you of the Wienermobile whereabouts. Grand Rapids, Michigan, presently. There you go. If you're in Grand Rapids, take a look around. There's a Wienermobile thereabouts. If you haven't heard about that, a previous live stream, we talked about that extensively on the last week's podcast. Let's see, Key West. Oh, He's putting on his jacket. Well, he's not yet. I thought he was going to put on his jacket. He's late. Suzanne, he's late. It's past time. It's now 9:16. We're a minute, and the judge laid down the law. He says, I've got zero tolerance for this. This is the last time. Whoa, boom, in the door. Oh my goodness. Tucker's here. The bailiff's getting set. Oh my goodness. That was so close. Judge was not out yet, but I think the judge, the bailiffs were letting him know if he was there. Why am I nervous? This was no Starbucks this morning. Man, he has mentioned that he takes a rideshare service to get to court, and that puts it in somebody else's hands. Sometimes it puts some of the driving in someone else's hands, but Key West is not huge, right? It's not enormous. It's not like they have massive population swings midweek. I guess closer to the weekend, maybe there might be more traffic, but. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some people say the Key West, the traffic's fairly predictable. Okay, so Mr. Tucker's here. I pushed it so close. Yeah, the judge agrees, K-Pick. The judge says, I don't care. Your job is to get here on time. Don't tell me traffic was bad. Don't tell me that your Uber driver was late. Or anything else. Your job is to be here on time. Court. That's one thing that judges are adamant about. That even for lawyers, that if you're scheduled in court, you should be in court. It takes precedence over basically everything except for life-threatening emergency. Amber says, member for 11 months, lurker since October 2022. So proud to be part of this amazing team and community. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate you. One of our great mods, great document hounds. Big, huge support to us on this channel, as well as to the Discord page, which we are great friends with, As the Gavel Drops Discord page. Thank you very much. No, but a crash can tie up for hours. I do. I recognize they don't have real estate for a lot of roads and backup roads. So if there's a crash on the main road, it could be pretty bad. Melissa says, my hubby loved.
All rise. Circuit Court of the 16th Circuit of the State of Florida is now in session. The Honorable Mark H. Jones, Judge presiding.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hubby loved the podcast last night. Thank you, Melissa. Good to hear. Camilla.
State versus Tucker.
That's cold.
Prosecutors, defendant. Everybody else is here. So, what we planned on this morning was to hear the defendant's motion for judgment of acquittal and then to address the logistics as to the Zoom testimony of Ms. Belmonte. So, Tucker, are you ready to be heard on your motion for judgment of acquittal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you can proceed.
And about approximately how long do I have here, sir?
Well, how long do you need?
I'm not sure.
Well, I can't imagine more than 15 minutes would be necessary, but...
These are generally brief arguments, especially initially he makes the motion, and then he's got, looks like he's got more material preparing him for this than any other witness.
Right.
Kim, thank you for gifting 10 memberships.
I was working on it. I actually wrote a motion out for a second there. Actually, I've been writing it anyway. Had a completely different one at first. But, Your Honor, let me take off my glasses. I want to be respectful here. All right, there we go. I can even read a little bit easier. Your Honor, this case has been going on for 6 years. It wasn't good at the beginning. not good now. You know, as far as being able to have the prosecution be able to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay.
But that's not the standard. Just so we're clear, that's not the standard for a motion for judgment of acquittal.
I don't know. From what I read last night from the Florida, when I was reading Florida, was it the criminal code? Was it criminal rules of procedure, or criminal code of procedure, whatever? Literally, it was okay if you don't think there is enough evidence for the state's case to sustain a conviction of reasonable doubt.
No, that's not it.
Well, then go ahead and explain. I would
appreciate it. Might be a little high standard after the close of all the evidence, but basically, has the state put on a prima facie case as to each element of the charges that have been brought? That's the standard, looking at the evidence in the light most favorable to the state.
Right. And looking at the evidence most favorable to the state, it hasn't gotten any better over the years. And I'm looking at it now because I've been looking at it for 6 years, and it's always been the same. Now, the thing is even, okay, all the evidence the state presented, the only thing they had was Travis Johnson. That's it. We knew that was going to be the case. And even then, even at his best, his credibility is doubtful, right? So, okay, that's the case. But even then, if you actually compare it to the other witnesses they put on and the other evidence in the case, they still haven't even come up with a concrete narrative. Okay, they put on Roger Ruggett, who says he was attacked by 2 men, skull masks, both carrying knives. State then puts Travis Johnson on, who says knife, pipe, skull mask, and a Jägermeister neck gaiter. Those two aren't consistent. They can't even get a consistent story here. So to think that the jury is going to be able to ever come anywhere close to a verdict of beyond reasonable doubt, I don't see it. And I mean, again, I can go through the rest.
It's not the issue, Mr. Tucker.
Okay.
I mean, I'd hate to keep beating on the same drum, but your argument is
I won't argue that anymore.
On point with the law.
Your Honor, there's been a lot of things in this case that haven't been on the point with the law.
Well, I disagree, seeing that I've been the presiding judge and feel that the rulings I've made have been consistent with the law. You're certainly entitled to disagree with that, but right now we're focusing on a very narrow question. All this other stuff is not the point. It's, have they presented a prima facie case? That's the question.
Okay. Your Honor, and again, I'm trying to be as respectful as I possibly
understand
can.
that, and I'm not construing it as disrespect. I'm trying to direct the argument to the issue.
Okay. Well, the issue has been there for a long time, Your Honor.
I don't understand that point at all. This is the first time we've been in trial.
No, but this case should have been dismissed due to the misconduct on it a long time ago.
That's completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with what we're doing right now.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
My due process rights have been violated the entire time. The entire time.
Okay, sir. You want to
I'm telling you the way. I'm telling you the truth.
Rhetoric. If that's how you want to spend your 15 minutes, go ahead.
Your Honor, okay. Again, how about setting me up with Naeem Jackson? The 3 officers admitted to doing it, and you're saying it didn't happen? That violated 4 of my constitutional rights.
A motion for judgment of acquittal. Absolutely nothing.
No, it meant that you should have.
Mr. Jackson.
You should have dismissed the case. You should have dismissed the case according to the Constitution of the state of Florida, which says if my due process rights have been violated, that you are bound to dismiss the case. And that violated 4 of my constitutional rights right there, and that was only 1 incident. 1. And we have proof of many. And yet you haven't investigated it. You've just denied it.
Sir, I am not an investigative body, so, again, you want to...
I shouldn't be in this courtroom, sir.
Well, that's a very subjective perspective.
I mean, look,
if you're not going to make a relevant argument,
I will make a very relevant argument. I will make a very relevant argument,
sir. Okay, well, I haven't heard
it. And I think I've made one so far.
I haven't heard it yet.
Well, I'm sure, because you also, again, denied the misconduct that was committed. And we know it did. We know it happened.
This is going to end in contempt.
It's not. It wasn't a question. We know it happened. But the state, they deny it. You deny it, and it doesn't exist. We know it happened. It's not a matter of if. You know, I mean, again, we had so much evidence, it wasn't even funny. How much evidence do you have to have? But yet, here I am. And to be respectful, Your Honor, you know, you chastised me for being late yesterday, right, and wasting everybody's time.
And the day before.
Okay, well, and here's the thing, is when we filed that motion to dismiss, you had your option not to be here at all and not waste anybody's time.
Judge, I'm going to object.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain it. That's irrelevant. So anyway.
Again,
he needs to make this motion. He has not made it
the
yet.
case for many acts of misconduct, Your Honor.
Objection.
Sustained.
I didn't know they got a say in this. I
Sure
wasn't
they do. When somebody's standing up here making irrelevant, inflammatory, specious arguments, they have a right to object.
Well, again, I mean,
I thought you were making a motion for judgment.
Well, the motion for judgment, we both know you're going to deny anyway, right? I knew that before I even came up here. Just like I knew how this was going to go. Everybody wants to know why I went pro se.
Objection, irrelevant argument.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, but
I mean,
I guess Mr. Tucker just wants to let off some steam. Let him go ahead.
No, it's not,
it's
not a matter of letting off steam, Your Honor. It's a matter of telling the truth and trying to get the truth out.
This isn't the soapbox on a street corner. This is a court of law where we make arguments relevant to the issues. But as I said, if you want to, play up to the cameras or...
Well, no, you're trying to say that you're doing this with...
steam, go ahead.
Your Honor, you're trying to say you're doing this within the law and within the rules. The rules said it, my case should have been dismissed. That's what it says.
That's what you think, sir.
No, that's what I have evidence to prove.
I'm not surprised that from your subjective perspective, you think you shouldn't be it. That's 99% of the defendants feel that way.
Okay, well, I'm sure they do.
Unusual, so in any event...
I'm sure they do, but how many of them have evidence that they were set up in jail with a CI to try and
I didn't hear that evidence in court. I haven't heard
tried to bring
that,
it.
Mr. Jackson.
We brought it in many times. How many times did we bring up Mr.
Sir,
Jackson?
this is the trial. This isn't some pretrial motion. We haven't heard anything from Mr. Jackson or statements from you at all.
Your Honor, look, I've studied this case for 6 years. I've studied the law a little bit. I'm not as good as anybody in here, I guarantee you that. But one thing I've learned a few things. One, the state attorney's office has a bound duty according to the bar to investigate any acts of misconduct that are not considered frivolous. And I don't think 3 officers who admitted to doing it is frivolous. But did they investigate? No. They decided to take me to trial. Right? Is that how justice goes? That's how the law works? I don't understand. Again, I'm playing by the rules, right? I'm playing by the rules. Trying to anyway. I didn't do anything to ask for this. I didn't want this. We tried to file a motion to dismiss, and then again, everybody's acted ethically. That's what you said. That's completely untrue. But that's what you said.
I'm sorry. What?
Everybody, the state attorney's office has acted ethically the entire time, and so has the court has acted ethically the entire time. Is that correct?
Judge, I'm going to object. This is improper jail.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain it.
Okay.
I don't know what every word in that order said, but I'm sure there was reference to that. But again, it's not relevant to.
Well, I mean, you guys wrote it off as conspiracy theories and personal attacks when we had a mountain of evidence. Nobody wanted to hear it.
Again, I'm going to ask you to sit down if you don't want to argue your motion, because so far you haven't really argued a motion for judgment of acquittal.
Well, okay. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead. I'll go ahead and give you my points on the case then, as it stands now, right? Okay, let's go over Miss Jenna Mueller.
Use the first 5 minutes of your 15.
Perfect.
So in any event,
that means I have 10 more, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jenna Mueller offered all kinds of evidence about this crime scene. She offered evidence about, her being a first responder. Did she offer any evidence about me? No. 0. Right? That's none. Okay, so let's go to the next witness. That would be Roger Ruggett, right? Roger Ruggett, he didn't offer any testimony against me, Matter of fact, he kind of helped me with the whole, he didn't know my name, but again, in the affidavit, it was completely opposite. It stated that he actually made statements saying it was me. But then again, that's irrelevant. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So Roger Ruggett doesn't offer any evidence against me. 0. Right? Let's go. Keep on going down. Let's see who we got for the witnesses. Let's see. After that we got Marcus DeVal. Marcus DeVal doesn't offer any evidence against me. 0. Right? Let's go. Keep on going from there. Let's see. And there's a good reason why there's 0 evidence, by the way, except for anybody that can be basically bribed to testify. So let's see what else we got here.
He's close here.
Now, let's see. We got Jenna Mueller. We got Roger Ruggett. Keep going down. Let's see. We have, DeVal, no. David Fernandez doesn't offer any evidence against me. 0. All right? Again, except for the video, he explains that you can't see anybody in. Okay, so we're keep on going down. Oh, but he did admit that you can't see a getaway driver in that video. He did admit that. Then we go to Danielle Malone. That's a whole another interesting one there. Because of course, she made false statements about when I actually became a suspect to avoid the whole Penny Phelps thing, which of course that's why she's not here. Let's go ahead and we'll keep on going down. Cosmo videos, nothing there. She did say that Wilson and Johnson made statements against me, and that was her evidence that was me in the videos, right? Wilson has since, at trial, said that he was coerced into making those statements. Johnson also said he was coerced into making those statements when he filed his motion to suppress. So both of those people said their statements about me were untrue at different points. So, okay.
For the record, I'm objecting those are facts, not in evidence in this trial.
It's sustained.
Okay. Well, no, you're wrong. I'm just wondering, again, facts. It's fine.
Not in evidence.
Not in evidence, but they're facts.
And then, the whole thing with Miss Paula Belmont. Miss Paula Belmont's been saying it wasn't me since the beginning. Since the beginning. Now, and the thing is while you can hammer me all you want, again, she's the victim here. Her, Matt, Roger Ruggett, the people who were actually victimized that day. That's what we're supposed to be here for, right? That's what this is all about.
No, it's about the trial in the case of State versus Tucker.
I understand that, but why am I on trial? I'm on trial because those
You're
victims
accused of 4 crimes at this point.
Right, and those victims, and again, I'm accused of 4 crimes. That's true. I've been accused of more, apparently, when we started this. Let's see. And I can tell you when I actually was named a suspect, because that's been, again, that one was actually put on the stand too. Let's see. So, okay, nothing really, man, from Danielle Malone, except for that she says that, was it Travis Johnson's statements or, something that should be believed, I guess. Same thing with, again, she brought out Rory Wilson, who's not even going to testify, so, it's hearsay, it doesn't matter. Let's see, let's keep going down. And the state, we go to, okay, now we go to Travis Johnson, who the state says is consistent. Again, he's wavered on this story plenty of times. While I did poke quite a few holes in his story there, the bigger one is the inconsistencies with the rest of the witnesses and evidence. He keeps trying to put the knife in my hand. There is no evidence that the knife was ever in my hand other than what he says. The DNA evidence, again, says otherwise. Not only that, the state now is trying to use that same weapon, and put it in two different people's hands. They literally convicted Rory Wilson with that knife. And now all of a sudden it's my knife? Okay. Let's keep on going here.
This is it's a felony murder charge.
I understand what a felony murder charge is. I understand that.
Well, what you just said.
But I mean, okay, why would the state keep trying to put the knife in my hand and say that that's consistent with the evidence? It's not. It's not. It's not a consistent statement. It doesn't match the DNA. It doesn't match the conviction they just got against Rory Wilson. I mean, do you keep on using the same murder weapon and keep on handing it off to people?
Yes,
I don't know.
do.
But okay, so let's keep on going here. So, okay, John Travis Johnson's statements again, like I said, the masks. Again, he says, was it a skull mask and a neck gaiter? Roger Ruggett and every other witness says skull masks. Nobody ever once, except John Travis Johnson, says a neck gaiter with Jägermeister all over it. He's the only one. But we're supposed to believe him. The guy who is getting 5 years instead of a life sentence. The jury's supposed to believe him, right? So, okay. So that, again, we got John Travis Johnson. Now, what do we have after John Travis Johnson? We have the ME. ME didn't say anything that that actually implicates me. Then we have the DNA analyst, who I was actually calling as my witness. Because, again, no DNA evidence. And even the ones that the prosecutor tried to say is, again, he was trying to use inconclusive as positive results, right, as the same thing, but they're not.
And then, I didn't hear that.
I did.
That they're trying to use inconclusive as positive.
Well, I mean, what else are they going to use? What else are they going to use? There's nothing. They knew there was nothing there. They knew that, man, 2019. So, okay. So nothing in the DNA, right? So we have one witness, which is exactly what we knew it was going to come down to, John Travis Johnson. The rest of the case is fodder. That's all it is.
It's what?
Fodder. Smoke and mirrors, that kind of thing.
Oh, I know what fodder
okay,
is.
So that's it. We come down to John Travis Johnson. John Travis Johnson, again, like I said, his credibility is shaky at best, and with the outbursts he had up there on the stand, Lord knows, I thought he was going to jump off the stand and come after me the first time. So that whole sweet, innocent getaway driver thing, that they have no proof that he's the getaway driver, but they love saying it. Might as well be his last name now. But okay. So I'm supposed to, again, risk my life with these 12 people, risk my life on what? The evidence the state has is John Travis Johnson. That's it. Now, we have, again, we can keep on, again, just some of the same things I just named. No DNA on my side. 0. Right? And even some of the things they named as inconclusive weren't ever even actually evidence. They weren't, found at the Treehouse site. They weren't actually, they didn't have any victims' blood on them. They actually had nothing to do with the crime. As far as the gloves, the shirt, that kind of stuff. That's why they're not in evidence now. Right? But they said, okay, well, why don't you tell us everything that was inconclusive? That's why I meant by they're using it as a positive, Your Honor. That's why I asked prior to them coming up here and asking questions, that those inconclusives not be allowed. Because I knew they would use them as a positive. Now, that's the case. That's the state's case. They rested on that. That's what they have against me. That's what cost me 6 years of my life. That's what's going to cost me the rest of my life, maybe. And that's insane. The state can bring somebody to trial on that. That's insane. Now, again, I don't expect you to give me a judgment of acquittal. I didn't think you would, and I don't think. And so I've been fully prepared, for the next to move on to Miss Belmont, which again, I have the surviving victim saying she's 100% sure. She's willing to risk her life that she almost lost that night on the fact that I'm innocent. That's what she said in an interview.
Risk her life, sir?
That's what she actually said in an interview, Your Honor. She actually said that to the media. She said she was willing to wager her life that she almost lost that night.
We're certainly going to give you an opportunity to present that testimony. It's not part of the evidence in the state's case, so it's not relevant to the argument.
Do I have any time left, Your Honor?
You got a minute.
Okay, good. I'd like to say one more thing, because it really did upset me. When I came in here the other day and you were upset with me, and I understand that. I understand you being upset with me.
Judge, I'm going to object. This is improper jail.
What does he want to say?
I understand you being upset with me. Mm-hmm. But Miss Paul Belmont is sick, very sick, and she wants to testify. That's all she wanted. That's all she wanted. And she's the victim in the case.
So she's going to testify.
No, but she has the right. Again, what if she had died?
Is this a rehearing on
I'm just saying, what if she had
not
died?
to take it out of order? I've already made that decision.
Personally,
in any event.
Personally, I think you made that decision because you were mad at me.
Okay, sir, you're entitled to your personal opinion. That's fine. I don't expect you to agree with me. I don't. So you think whatever you want to think, and that's fine.
I get that, Your Honor. And look, I'm going to prepare for my next. I'll prepare to call my witness, Your Honor.
Okay. State.
Judge, the state has proven a prima facie case as to each and every element of the crimes charged against this defendant. If the jury believes the evidence that's been put forward, the state has proven first and foremost that the defendant, along with the co-defendants, Rory Wilson, and Travis Johnson conspired to commit a robbery at the Treehouse on November 17th of 2017. Their motivation was to get some drugs and money, and they put together this plan, and they effectuated that plan. Travis Johnson gave us the details of that planning, and actually the details of the overall execution of that plan. This defendant is alleged, and the state submits has proven, this defendant, along with Rory Wilson, approached the Treehouse that night after having been driven over there by Travis Johnson. They went inside the Treehouse and they attacked Paula Belmonte and Roger Raggett. Roger Raggett testified that these two masked men came up the stairs. He was non-specific about the mask that the second man was wearing, and that would be the man that pounced on him. When Mr. Tucker questioned him about the height of that man, it was very telling because Mr. Tucker put his hand way up here in the air, and Mr. Raggett said, no, lower than that, lower than that. And then he finished by saying, about your height, was the description he gave of the second man. He proceeded to articulate what happened inside that Treehouse, the fact that that he was being beaten and Paula was being stabbed by the other man. And at the end of the day, they grabbed the tin that was on the table and the bag, and they left. He also describes that Matthew Bonnet came upstairs, saw what was happening, and ran back down the stairs.
Excuse me.
At the end of this, whatever was happening inside the Treehouse, we have Travis Johnson testifying that he looks and he sees first a man running out of the Treehouse screaming for help, and then he sees a man dressed all in black that he said was Tyrone Tucker running out of the Treehouse carrying a bag that he carried back to the warehouse. They get back to the warehouse. The spoils of the robbery are shared by the three of them. They smoke the dope that they got. Under the felony murder rule, first-degree felony murder, all three are guilty of the crime.
Well, I'm sorry, what's the objection?
The objection is he just told a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. And man, if it is true, that means John Jarvis Johnson was in the house.
Again, Mr. Tucker, you're demonstrating your fundamental misunderstanding of this phase of the proceeding.
I guess.
Yes, you are. The state is presenting the evidence that's been presented, the light most favorable, sir, to the non-moving party. So you can disagree with it. You can challenge it, but in terms of an accurate recitation of the evidence presented, it's not distorted. So I'm going to overrule the objection.
Your Honor, can I at least explain what I
thought?
No,
no, you can't, because you're not understanding this phase of the proceedings.
Okay. Okay, Your Honor.
Judge, under the first-degree felony murder rule, all three are guilty of the crimes that each committed during the course of this robbery. Under the principal theory. Under the first-degree felony murder rule, they are guilty of murder because Matthew Bonnet ended up being stabbed and killed during the commission of this robbery. The state has proven each and every one of the elements of that crime against this defendant. This defendant is also charged with robbery with a deadly weapon while masked. And that's of Paula Belmonte. Again, this defendant, under the principal theory, is aligned with Corey Wilson and Travis Johnson at this point. Corey Wilson is the one that's alleged to have attacked Paula Belmonte, but at any rate, it doesn't matter because they're all guilty of everything that happened inside that treehouse that night. So this defendant is guilty of the attack on Paula Belmonte, which is count 1 in the information, robbery with a deadly weapon while masked. This defendant is guilty of count 2, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against Roger Raggett. Roger Raggett was very specific about seeing this guy come up and raise the weapon up in his face, put him in fear of being stabbed. Roger Raggett is also Roger Raggett was also the victim of a battery by somebody who was masked because Roger Raggett continued to testify that he was beaten by the man that approached him in this attack at the treehouse. At the end of the day, Judge, the state has proven a prima facie case against this defendant as to each and every element, and the state would request the court to deny the motion for a judgment of acquittal.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to have a minute or two of rebuttal, or?
Yes, sir. Actually, that was why I objected. When you said his case, the case as he recited actually matched the evidence, he just said that John Travis Johnson described taking the tin, taking the bag, and being in the house. He literally just said that. So if he was in the house, how's he the getaway driver?
Anything else?
Well, Your Honor, again, if his prima facie case is based on, again, on the testimony of Travis Johnson, and he supposedly, again, he knows all that stuff because he was there, that makes sense. He can definitely recite all that stuff. And if he can recite what happened in the house, which is what you just said, that means he was in the house.
All right, thank you. Anyway, I've been presiding over this case for many years now, and throughout this trial as well. I've heard the defendant's motion for judgment of acquittal. I also heard many extraneous points and grievances and irrelevant matters, tried to be liberal, and as I said, let the defendant let off a little steam. And those issues, other than the question whether the state has presented a prima facie case, that is, evidence on each element of the 4 crimes charged: the felony murder, the robbery with a deadly weapon while masked, the battery while masked, that's in count 3, an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon while masked. That's the issue here, taking the evidence in the light most favorable to the state, the non-moving party. That's the standard of review, and irrespective of Mr. Tucker's, says he doesn't want to be disrespectful, but by claiming that I've already made up my mind, it's very disrespectful, but it's, doesn't faze me at this particular point because he's inflamed with his own self-interest, and I get that. So the point is, you're trying to distill the state's evidence to Johnson in and of himself is inaccurate. He's, I would suggest the main witness for the state, but there is corroboration of his testimony in various regards. You certainly have matters to argue to the jury. That's not the issue right now. The issue is, have they presented a prima facie case? And they have, as to each of the offenses charged, so I'm going to deny the motion. So, next step is, what do we need to do to effectuate the testimony of Ms. Belmonte via Zoom? Do we have some technical matters? Have we got the location of her room? Have we got the person from the state designated?
Yes, sir. Our investigator will be out there at noon today. We know what room number she's in. He'll be there to protect our interests, I guess, in what's going on out there.
Well, when we say protect your interest, I take it this person's going to do nothing more than be present and observe. Nothing more in terms of setting up equipment, in terms of asking questions, in terms of just to observe.
Correct, Judge. Just to observe, and he's one of the investigators that the defendant had requested that we use. So Ms. Belmonte, I guess, knows this investigator and is comfortable with him, and that's who we're going to use.
Thank you.
Okay, so she have a means to?
Yes, Your Honor. I set her up with a laptop this morning, had Zoom on there. All she has to do is hit the microphone, hit the video. I just need an email or something for the screen over here so that we can go ahead and link in. That's about it. The only thing I would suggest for the investigators, there is her caregiver is going to be there to help them. They're going to need was it the full body suit if they're going to be in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Judge, I would propose that we log her in right now and get her up on the Zoom and see if it's working.
I actually had it set for 12:30 so we could do a half-hour test, like just beforehand, just to make sure we're okay for 1 o'clock.
So, again, I certainly am ignorant about the logistics of this, so it's going to be, Mr. Alvarez, yesterday you were talking about your cell phone, so there's something more direct that the...
Judge, my understanding, and again, my knowledge of this area is limited just like yours is. But in the past, some of these Zoom hearings I've attended, I have the application on my phone. I'm able just to log in, put in the login information in the passcode if there's one, and that will connect me and remote me in. My understanding in what Mr. Tucker is saying, he's already provided Ms. Belmonte with a laptop, which you could also log in as well, and it's just a matter of connecting it here on the internet.
Yep. I also provided links to both the state attorneys so that they would.
So let's get Carrie in here. Could you help out with that, Deputy Riccio?
How did Zoom not make it to the Key West? How did Zoom not make it to Key West over the last 4 years? This is absurd.
Then, is
there
there going to be any request for any kind of instruction before the testimony is presented about what it is, how it should be considered? If anybody, like the next witness is going to appear remotely via Zoom, you will be able to see her and hear her, but she is not going to be present in the courtroom. I don't know if anybody wants me to say that's because of health concerns, and you should consider her testimony the same as you would if she were in fact here in the courtroom. If someone wants that sort of instruction or explanation, fine. Usually, I would usually say something like that, usually in a civil case when we have a videotape deposition, but you all tell me.
That would be fine, Your Honor.
Carrie, we're going to have first defense witness testify by Zoom. She's over in the hospital, and I just wanted to try to get everything set up so when the jury gets here, it's as smooth as possible. So I don't know if this, she's got a laptop, if that would be directly here or I don't know. I'd prefer not to have anything to do with setting it up, but
well, someone will have to host the meeting. Is that going to be the...
I tell you what, we don't need to be on the record for this, so would you mind kind of liaisoning with the lawyers, and then when we've got it figured out, the deputy comes and gets me, and
Judge is talking to Carrie, the IT guy.
If you don't mind doing that. All right, so I'll be standing by.
Okay, couple things to talk about here as the judge goes off the bench.
I think we need to ask our court reporter. It's going to be recorded.
Okay, they've killed the audio here because the judge is off the bench. Here's a couple things. First of all,
of the video and the like, but we just asked Monica what she thinks we need to do for the record. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
As long as I can hear, like when the video is presented, if there's a mic right in front there, that'd be fine. I don't know how attorneys. They'll use that one, but we can probably get it to you that one.
Yeah, we can.
The court clerk says as long as I can hear, it's good.
The attorney.
Yes. No.
They're grabbing mics from all over the place.
Am I just talking to you?
So which way?
Just to the jury. You find it. You can.
You guys, we're gonna use a newfangled piece of technology. It's actually breaking technology. You guys probably haven't heard of this, but Zoom is what we're gonna call it. It's gonna let us talk to someone who's not in the same room as us.
I just need an email to send it to or something like that.
Okay, we're gonna turn that off. Oh my goodness. Okay, the jury is not there. Let me explain why the jury is not there. The jury is not there because at the close of the state's case, which ended yesterday, they rested, and then there's a period of time where there's some legal work or legal filings or motions that can be made. This is when the judgment of acquittal or the directed verdict motion is made, and that's what we heard this morning. That's made outside the presence of the jury, so that was appropriate for the jury to not be here. The jury will be back this afternoon. They'll be back at 1 o'clock for the proceeding of the testimony because the judge has denied that judgment of acquittal. He has basically said, no, we're not going to give a directed verdict. We're not going to, according to him, he says the state has proven their case. Now, if you look at it in this light, the state has to prove that all these crimes occurred. The state does not have to prove that he did all these crimes because of that rule, the primary or the principal rule that says if you are part of the group that commits the crime, like the getaway driver gets charged with murder, just like the guy who did the murder gets charged with murder. So if they have evidence, which they have from Travis, that he was part of that group committing the crime, they don't have to prove that he cut Paula or that he stabbed, Matt, or that he was the getaway driver. They don't have to prove anything as long as they prove he was part of the group and they have some evidence, which the judge has to accept as true in the light most favorable to the state. They have some evidence that puts him there, and they have evidence that these crimes occurred. So I agree with the judge, as much as I don't like it, that this should go to the jury. Now, do I think the jury should convict? No. Because the jury does not have to look at all the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. The jury can look at the evidence and say, well, I believe that witness, but not that one, and not that one. And this one I think lied to us, and this one I think was telling the truth. The jury gets to say this and make that decision. So what we have now, we've got a break. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. The jury will not be there till 1. They're probably going to do a test at 12:30. So we get to court hop for a little while while we have a little bit of a break. I realize a lot of people are saying a lot of people haven't had need for Zoom or anything, but courts have across the nation because courtrooms shut down during a brief period. During the pandemic. They shut down, and this was how they operated, and this is how lawyers did depositions. This is how, these lawyers have used this, and it seems absurd that they're just now learning how to use it here in court. As far as the argument Mr. Tucker made in front of the judge in his judgment of acquittal, Mr. Tucker needs a lawyer. This is why he needs a lawyer. He treated it more as his time to vent with all his frustrations of the case when he specifically just had to address the issue of did the state provide a prima facie case against him, and instead it was everything else. Now I realize he's got some valid complaints. He's got some things to. I've got a suspected spam call. Who's this?
Call from Nikki Z.
Nikki, I'm not sure why you came up as a suspected spam call, but this is RA. How are you doing, Nikki?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's on your minds this morning with this case?
So, if the jury finds him not guilty, is there anything he can go back and do about how this judge has treated him for this whole time? Because I know yesterday when his wife was on the phone, she said that what we're seeing now is like nothing compared to what the judge has done to him before the cameras were around.
I'm not sure what recourse he has. Unfortunately, a lot of times those individuals that are involved in a lawsuit are sort of protected from what they do in court. Like you can't sue a lawyer for defamation for what he says against you in court. Even if it could be the most outlandish thing ever, but they have a protection. There's a bubble around them individually. There probably are some things you could do if you have a bad situation. It would probably be through the media and through official complaints or something like that. but really it's an uphill battle and a very difficult one. And if he,
I just feel like this judge is like terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one that I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that was just crazy to me, seeing a judge speak like that. Like, we had I forget his last name, but Troy, the father from Florida that kidnapped his wife and tried to kill her, and he was acting pro se, and the judge was helping him with his.
The judge doesn't have to. Some judges, look at Darrell Brooks. Judge Doro helped him a lot, and would coach him and say, "I need you to write it down in a motion. You need to put this. You need to put down what the relief is you want." Helping him, stepping him through. The judge, when one of the questions all the judges ask when a defendant wants to go pro se is, "Are you aware what you're getting yourself into? Do you realize I won't be able to help you?" That's one of the things I say. I can't, because if they provide too much help, that in and of itself is a problem. And so, it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but a lawyer with experience, knowing how to argue the motion, probably would have got the same result that Tucker did in this morning's appearance. But it wouldn't have been, tempers wouldn't have flared like they did. He wouldn't have had as much interruption and stuff as we did. But man.
I'm not pleased with this. Not impressed.
It's frustrating. It sounds like the stuff outside of the case, the evidence that hasn't got in, the information, how they got here. There is so much there. It's like, how can we be here in trial right now when there's so many potential problems outside that got us here?
Right.
Man.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, well, we had a second, so I thought that I would call and say good morning to everybody.
Well, thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good day.
Bye. Nikki was not a spammer, unfortunately for you guys. I know you guys don't want me to take spam calls. I'll try. When they come in on a break, I'll take spam calls on the air. Let's see. So this case, they're still in the courtroom trying to figure it out right now with Zoom. We're trying to get the links working and the audio. It's probably going to be a problem. There's probably going to be feedback because they want to put a microphone on the speaker so the court clerk can hear, and that's just going to be like, wee. It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. So we're probably going to have issues on that once people actually start connecting. And I think they will get it figured out. But the burden for this really is on Mr. Tucker. This is his witness. This is his request that she testify like this. It wasn't his preferred method. Obviously, he would rather have her there in person, but her health prevents that. So it's insane feedback. The looping will be awful. We're going to have everyone with their devices and the volume up. I imagine that one of the attorneys will be watching it on his phone with the volume up, and it's just going to be everyone's mics are going to be unmuted. It's going to be great. The pool media probably cannot help with the audio setup. Their concern and their area of expertise, although they have the technology to do it and the knowledge to set it up, there's a line you don't cross. The pool media is not the same as the IT people in the court. They are a visitor. They are a guest. They are under strict rules on what they can and can't do and where they have to stand. So even though you might have the most knowledgeable IT person in the country, they're operating a camera in your courtroom. That's not a resource the judge can tap. Let's see. I think it's going to make some excuse at 12:30 and try to get this to go next week and beyond. I don't think so. I think he wants to get this in. He's been wanting this for a long time. I think this will happen. Okay. IT guy looks laid back at this point. Maybe they're ready. I think he knows what he's doing. He understands the equipment very well. I think he put the equipment together and has assembled it, so it's all good. Let's see. Angie says, no empathy, defendant is a jerk, has attitude issues. He does. He's got some attitude issues. He's got some personality traits that are sort of abrasive. American Dreamer, did I answer your super chat? I had to take the trash out. You sent a super chat and then took the trash out? I was watching, let's see. I see this one from Allison. Happy Friday, RA. Thank you for making work days more bearable. It is Friday, Allison. The weekend is almost here. Let's see. I did not see. Let me see if I can go back and look at it. Just one second. I missed the super chat. Allison. I see K-Rab. I'm not seeing the super chat. Just ask the question. You don't have to super chat it. Just ask the question. Tag me in it with my name like Anna Banana did here. Can't the IT guy hook up an external speaker facing the stenographer? It would seem pretty simple. It would. The problem you have is you've got two audio systems that are competing. You have in the courtroom itself, you have the mics that allow people in court to hear. So there's a mic at the two tables, the defense and the prosecution. There's a mic at the judge's table, and there's a mic up at the podium. There's also another mic off to the side at that third table. Those are the pickup points. There's also one on the witness stand. And so all these mics feed into a system that the pool photographer plugs into, and they get that audio. And now you also introduce a TV with Zoom, and Zoom does not just plug into that same audio. Zoom has its own microphone, so they're going to try to use a microphone to be loud enough that the Zoom camera or microphone, the computer will pick it up, and then it has its own speakers, and it puts the speakers out, and they're going to try to use that speaker with another microphone to pipe it into the court system. It's the worst possible setup. Anytime you use a microphone next to a speaker to try to make it better to hear, you're making it worse. There's it's doing it the right way takes a lot better equipment, but it's difficult. It takes a soundboard and routing audio. All right, and you get into mix minus and feedback and everything else. Mix minus is where you have everything but one sound going one place. So you're not going to reroute the Tucker's audio back to himself. So he doesn't hear himself. If he were talking to his cell phone on Zoom, he's not going to hear his own voice coming back at him. You need to consider all that. Purple Haze says, mind of Old Purple can get a Pickles update. Just real brief. Oh, okay. You want a cat update? Is that what you're wanting? My kitty cat is. I spent about 45 minutes out petting him last night in the cold, freezing cold, and purred like crazy and loved it. I don't know if he's protective of me or what, but if it's dark and I go walking out in my yard, he walks in front of me, like stops, like. He runs and stops like in front of my foot, so I'm going to trip over him. He does not want me to leave, but he's almost like a guard cat. He knows there are other cats out there and doesn't want me to see him, I think. All right. A spicy morning, Tish, for sure. We knew it was going to be crazy, and it did go off the rails. I thought it was going to end in a contempt charge, or at least a contempt threat from the judge, because Mr. Tucker, He said respectfully, but I don't think it was. He basically accused the judge of being unfair, of violating his rights, of being part of this conspiracy to railroad him, and the judge, to his credit, at least let Mr. Tucker talk and let him vent some of this. Unfortunately, I think that was not the right place for that argument, and the argument that he was making was not. It was not made in the right manner. I think he did have good points that he brought up. The points related to the JOA motion. I think he was good as he went down through each witness as far as what they did have against him and what they didn't have against him. I think that was appropriate. The kitty does have an outside heated kitty mansion. Thank you. As a gift from one of you, it came in. It's got an outside heated kitty cat house. But was he totally wrong? I wouldn't say he's totally wrong. His inexperience with lawyering, with being in a courtroom, is showing. His personal frustration with the system is blurring his ability to do the steps that he needs to do as his own lawyer. See, poor Eeyore judge. I think the judge is annoyed that the case is here. He is required to follow the laws and procedures, though, and both sides are equally annoying him. Some of the best arguments that Mr. Tucker had, specifically regarding Mr. Travis, was that Mr. Travis had filed a motion to suppress his testimony that the state is using against Mr. Tucker. And he filed that motion claiming, and this is after he had agreed to agree with them, he filed this motion saying that this statement was made under duress. Oh, they're back. They're back. I don't know why. Are we?
Okay.
The jury's not here.
We're back on the record. So I understand from Gary that we're set up. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. We were just going to do a little test here with Paula just to make sure everything's working the way it should, and we should be okay. You know, go at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, whatever you would like. Oh, hold on. I got this film on. What's up?
Mr. Tucker just answered his cell phone.
No, you are there yourself right now. I'll join right now just so we can see it. Okay?
Mid-conversation with the judge. It's a test. I mean, it's not bad, but it's a funny look. So prepare for maybe some audio issues. I'd be very surprised if they got this figured out perfectly right now. It's connecting via Zoom. Paula was there at the scene. She was attacked. She was on the scene. She was the surviving witness, one of the surviving witnesses, surviving victims. And she's going to testify with 100% certainty that Mr. Tucker was not one of the attackers.
What is that? Yeah, go ahead and unmute it. Yeah, just push unmute it, and then push mute.
There's another button she needs to push which says play video.
I'm sorry, what is it?
I said there's another button that she needs to push on her end that says play video, otherwise you're just going to have a black screen.
Okay. Hey, do me a favor. The button, remember I showed you the button right next to it? It says play video. This should be like a little video camera.
Becca Lynn, I realize he's using his phone to set up the call. That's what I said he was doing. I'm just saying the optics of him answering the phone while talking to the judge is something we rarely see in court.
Okay. Just push the one that says video. There you go. It's like one that... Not on the bottom. Just calm down. Calm down. Okay. That's all it says on the screen at all. Okay. Just go ahead and do that for right now. Just go ahead and say push. Just push where you say it says continue. It says continue. Go ahead and push continue. It's okay. We'll relax.
Mr. Tucker's talking Paula through the connecting on Zoom. She's struggling, not having options. Generally, the best way to handle this for those that are in this position with somebody on the other that it's not working properly is to turn Zoom off and reconnect using that link.
If there's a problem, we'll fix it. It's okay. Okay? We've got plenty of time. Okay?
I like Mr. Tucker's style here, calming her down, saying, it's all right, don't worry about it, we're going to get it fixed.
Get one more yourself, okay? Oh, it's medicine time? Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you what, now, see if nurse comes for you, just coming out. What? Oh, they got too many patients? Is that what you said? Okay. Just hold on. Okay. Because what we'll do is we have to, I'm sure somebody over there.
I don't think the state's person who's going to be in Paula's room with her during this testimony is there right now.
It's only 10:14 and we're not scheduled to do this so long. So we're good. Huh? What's up? It's going to be all right. You're going to do just fine. All we got to do is we'll fix whatever the problem is. It should be easy. Huh?
It may be a concern with the medicine.
Like to take a break and take 5, as they say, and try to...
No, that'd be great, because she's having a little trouble over there working it, and it's like, I'm sure we can have fun this morning, so...
Understand.
I'm sure we can get it on.
Okay, so...
And I'll tell you what, Your Honor, we definitely have
Well,
I couldn't hear you.
You said we'll definitely have it running by 1 o'clock, but I don't want to. I don't want to wait until then. So.
Okay. Were you going to bring the jury in?
No. I just want to be able to see for myself that it's working before that time. So if that means 10:30, if that means 12:30, I mean, I just what it's kind of.
Hold on for a second, okay? Just relax. Just give me a second. Just give me. Okay. Actually, case management's there. See if they can help. Okay.
Judge, we're not in session. The camera's on. I would just ask for the camera to be off until we're back.
Oh, there we go. We got it.
What did you do? How did you do that?
I just unmuted you.
Okay, she unmuted me.
Okay, now go ahead.
I see a bunch of chairs in the courtroom.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what the jury is.
Okay.
Got the feedback.
Oh, I see your head.
Now.
I see your head.
Do you see the black? Okay.
I see your head, yes.
Okay. Do me a favor. See if the caregiver can help you push the video button so we can see you.
Let me look.
It should be right
You know that I wanted a cup of coffee. She's open.
Okay. It's okay.
So now we have a phone connection and a Zoom connection. That's why we're having an echo and a feedback loop. There she is. Okay,
there
so
we go. We can see now. Perfect.
We can see, we can't hear.
Okay, now we can't hear you now though. So we, no, we can't hear you. So you're gonna have to unmute it again. So yeah, she probably pushed mute by accident. There we go. Now we can hear you. So we got video. We got audio. We're good. We can see. Hi.
The only trouble is
I don't see you, but hello.
Okay. Let's turn the volume down just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
all right. So now I'm hearing feedback.
That's only because I have the phone here. So that's it. As soon as I turn the phone off, it should be okay.
Okay, listen, anyone that comes in this room needs to be fully gowned. Gowns, mask, gloves, everything. Okay.
Now, I've lost the picture.
I literally just.
You did what?
I minimized the picture, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
Well, just.
There she is.
Oh, no one can stand up for me.
Excuse me? Okay. So then, presumably she understands it's going to be a question.
But I still have on his laptop.
She understands that I'm going to go ahead and ask my questions. The state's going to get to ask their questions, and then I may do a redirect also.
And that it's the middle of a trial, and there's jurors present, and
she understands.
Okay, so you're satisfied it's good to go,
Oh my God, I can fall asleep just sitting here.
and apparently the state's representative is going to need to be in certain attire.
We'll let him know.
So,
Hey, Paula, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi. Paula, can you hear us?
How are you still there?
Because I'm still here because I'm coming through on the Zoom.
I don't think you know away.
That's okay. No, you're good.
okay, before we recess, I just wanted to deal with one issue that's not to do with this.
Protest or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Paula, we're going to sign off for right now, okay? Just leave it just like that, and when we click on, I'll call you before we click on, or I'll text you or something, okay?
Okay, because the woman I'm here short-staffed as it is.
Okay, no problem.
I'm taking them away from their nursing job.
Okay, no, I understand. I understand. Okay. All right. Look, I'll go ahead and give you a call, or I'll text you.
So I need to be like wide open and just doing it that way.
Okay, and we're gonna have to lower that laptop or raise you up a little bit just so we can see it. That's all. Okay, because they're gonna want.
I don't even see the volume or nothing.
Okay, it's okay. You're good.
It won't breathe.
No,
I
you're
don't
fine.
know where the bottom
Oh, I know. Okay, because it's that table, right? Okay, when she comes back, get her to help you with that table, or just take the laptop and put it on your lap or something. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off for right now, though, so that you can go ahead.
Because I don't feel good and I just need to relax.
It's okay. It's okay. You go ahead and relax. We'll be back in a little while. Okay.
Okay. You might have to wait me out. Don't let me miss this.
No, you'll be fine. Okay. You'll do just fine. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and call you right before we sign on. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you in a little while. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye, Paula.
Okay, so
I'm just going to go ahead and mute this, Your Honor.
I understand. I guess we have as much assurance as we can hope for in terms of everything being ready to go. I was just wondering if you had any other evidence that you were planning to present after her testimony is complete.
To be honest, just with all the complications, I was like, it probably wasn't going to be worth it. I was like, I don't know how long it's going to take. I didn't know if there was going to be any issues. I figured just on an abundance of caution. I was like, because I do have some other witnesses I'll be bringing on Monday. So I just figured, with her going on, and again, I don't know how long, just her breath, she may need breaks, whatever, I don't know.
All right. Okay, so
it's not going to end today. It sounds like Tucker has witnesses for Monday as well.
Well,
We'll be here 12:45.
Yeah.
I think you told the jury 1. Is that right?
Yeah, I
Judge?
told the jury 1, so I'm not sure what we're going to do for 15 minutes.
We'll be here at 1. How about that?
Well, about 12:55.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Judge, just so we're clear, as far as our investigator's attire, I think Mr. Mansfield and I are in agreement that he doesn't necessarily need to be in the room with her. He just needs to be outside the door to make sure no one else is in the room with her, coaching her while she's testifying.
Whatever you want within reason, it's your representative. So if you would prefer that, or it's okay that he's not in the room and all gowned up and everything, if that satisfies you all, and he just wants to be at the outside, that accomplishes your purpose, okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, see you at 12:55.
Okay, judge is off the bench. We're done there for now. This is crazy. First of all, I've never seen the state insist on having someone present on the other end of a Zoom call for testimony. Think of how many Zoom calls we had. Say, like, look in the Maya trial. We had didn't we have somebody on a cruise ship who called in? We've had people who clearly had people off camera, and they're looking and nodding. We've seen that. I've never had the other side say, yeah, we can do Zoom, but we insist on having our guy there, making sure they're not being coached, which seems strange, especially since she's in the hospital, Valerie. Oh man, they will need IT on standby. I can tell you right now that Paula probably is not going to be able to unmute and turn her camera on by herself. We'll have to go through those steps again, so they won't be able to. We'll be able to hear. She'll be able to see, but won't be able to hear. There'll be the same process to reconnect, but I think they'll be able to get it just fine. Isn't that why they have them take an oath? You'd think so, but I don't know. Are we then going to have a little break and have that gentleman question to make sure that there was nobody in the room coaching Paula on what she should say? There's a difference between criminal and civil. I agree, but we've seen this in criminal trials as well with Zoom. Let's see, and this is literally the surviving victim. It blows me away. I volunteer for cruise ship observer, T-Trev. If there's a position where my whole job is to be on the cruise ship and make sure nobody else is talking while someone else is on Zoom, I sign up. I volunteer as tribute. That's awesome, T-Trev. Hate to ask, but is she clear-minded and medicated? You know what I mean? Sorry for asking. Robin, this is a concern. Obviously, she's mentioned that she's on medication. We know her health is a concern. I do wonder, as insensitive and heartless as it might seem to be at the time, if the state is going to bring that up. I doubt they would, because I believe we have a deposition that with some prior consistent statements that will match what she's going to say today. So I don't think it'll be an issue. But wow, what a morning. We don't know why she's ill. We just know she took a turn for the worse. The gowned up and masked and everything, that was not a requirement, say like a week ago with her health condition then. So she's doing poorly now. Melissa, the surviving victim has a right to speak. I would say the surviving victim has a right to speak at sentencing for impact statements, but not the surviving victim does not have a right to speak in court for the trial. If either side decides not to call that victim, the victim can't say, well, I'd like to testify anyway. There's no right there to speak. She can speak out publicly if there's no gag order. She can speak to the media, and she definitely should have a right to speak afterwards about the sentencing as well. Why couldn't he just use her deposition? Monica, it's possible that he wants more than what they got out of the deposition. He might want to go over it different ways. He might want her to say it in a different manner, or think that he can get the testimony elicited or presented in a way that's more compelling than the way she did in a deposition. And plus, there's some points here. There's some points to show someone who's literally on their deathbed. Yeah, I realize this is heartless, but look at this from the jury's perspective. Somebody on virtually on their deathbed saying, "Look, that's not what happened. I'm dying. Okay, I'm using my last energy to tell you that's not right. I was there. This is not right." It could be very compelling for the jury. Oh man, let's see. I have not watched your other interviews. I know Tucker and Lauren, his wife, who's here, by the way. Lauren, welcome. Paul's last wishes are to testify. Yeah, we heard that from Tucker this morning. That she says, "Look, I'm willing to. It might cost me my life doing this, just the energy that's required to expend this, but she wants to testify." So, wow. So no surprises as far as the outcome of the hearing this morning, but we're now in a holding pattern for about 2 hours. We're going to start doing some court hopping. We'll take a brief break in about an hour, so it's a little early lunch today, and then we're going to come back. We're going to come back at 11:30. So let's see who we are able to jump in with. Just 1 second. See if any of our favorite courts are live.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting.
I don't know who won. Let's see. Judge Kenneth King is live. What's he doing today? Let's see what he's up to. Oh, his audio clips.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt again.
I'm not a cat.
I wonder, would it be possible? I've been treading water in 3 separate courts, and now suddenly 4, including yours, and now suddenly the other 3 are calling me. And I know this is my fault because I was late. Could we bump this over to Monday, possibly, this probable cause conference for Mr. Workman, and I can line up a prosecutor and make sure that they know to attend?
My kid's personal Uber driver.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And I trust Mr. Workman is not in the courtroom. I think he's in custody.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Let me recall it real quick. We call it 24055188001. This is D'Angelo. Matter scheduled for a topic class conference.
PNW, I could not find video of
Michael
that.
Woodyard on behalf of Mr. Workman. My P number is 64612.
PNW, I could not find video of your court case yesterday. If there's something out there that you can direct me to, please let me know. I just have not seen it anywhere.
Don't miss the forest for the trees.
See, Paul's going to testify this afternoon. Yes. Whoa. We got the update. All charges dismissed. PNW. Another win up in Thurston County for PNW. This all charges dismissed. This was an assault charge that stemmed from a PNW. How do you say this? A First Amendment audit. I don't know the details, but I know that it developed into you, I believe, getting arrested and charged with assault for what you were doing, which was, I know some people take issue with how you do it, but was very, very openly using your First Amendment rights to video record. I think that's what the facts of this case were as well. But congrats on the second win. Maybe they're learning their lesson. Wow, all dismissed. I imagine that was quite interesting. Let's see. And you said the charges were dropped. All charges dismissed. So it didn't go to a jury. It was dropped before then. Everyone's saying that Shapiro gave another interview. I can't show those, unfortunately. I can't just show any video we want on here. Let's see. So PNW, is there anything pending now? They used to preserve testimony in Rory's trial. I could read the script for the interview. I could. I just, unless I think didn't he say something bad about the judge? Is that what I'm hearing? That Mr. Shapiro might have some comments that could have been negative about the judge? Where is the Shapiro interview at? Cleric, I think Zoom will work. I just think it will be difficult. I'm not sure. My concern is that I would want the jury to be able to understand what Paula is saying. We're going to have, between the prosecution objecting, the judge asking for clarification or providing boundaries for Mr. Tucker, Mr. Tucker's questions and Paula's answers, and then any nurse or commentary that may be happening in that room at the same time. It's going to be a challenge. So you sent the Shapiro article to the burner yesterday. I'll just have to dig through. Hang on one second. Let's see. There's a lot. There's a lot of numbers. Okay. M. Young, I got the link to the rules. I was reading those. Let's see. Was it Tampa Bay?
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
The link I got from you was the rules, like the Florida rules. That's all I got. Mr. Shapiro is one of the attorneys in the Maya trial. He's the taller, balding one who has a very unique style. Bedside manner, not a 10. That's what I'd say. See, in the Troconis trial, Brandy Churchwell's following this one. In the Troconis trial, juror reported another juror has been posting about the case on social media. Oh, wow. So now, hang on. Thea K, this might be a double whammy, okay? Because if the juror found out because they saw it on social media, then you have a juror who's searching social media and a juror who's posting on social media. If that juror only heard about it because the juror told them, hey, I posted this online and it went viral, then it's okay. But even then, they're not supposed to be talking about the case. There's a big whammy there. Oh, wow. This is crazy. Are we going to go over the Maya updates? We did those the other day when they came out. We're talking about the 4 rulings from the judge. We've got those. Everything that I've seen in the Maya case since then, Wolf, is that has been heavily redacted, and we believe it's just the agreement or a copy of the settlement that was reached with Sally Smith and Sunrise with the Kowalskis, the $2.5 million settlement. That has to be, they call that a set-off. They're going to reduce the settlement by that amount. See, lots of exhibits. A couple hundred pages of exhibits were posted. Most of them were redacted that I saw. I don't see anything new since that yesterday. If I didn't look at all the exhibits, but I don't think it's anything crucial. Let's see. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to read all the comments and it's going really fast. Your Honor, I saw this juror posting on Facebook. I was perusing my feed and I saw a selfie of us in the juror room. Yeah, that could be bad. That could be really bad. Jurors gone wild. Double elimination. How many? Don't they have like 4 alternates right now? In Brandy's trial the other day, a juror told the prosecutor, "We love you." I thought that was a bailiff that said that. Was it a juror? They already had a juror dismissed for telling the state they love them. How to not serve on a jury, part 1. Directly disobey judge's orders. It's a twofer. We have jurors dropping like flies. We've got jurors in jail. We've got jurors that are being dismissed. Another word juror went to jail because she caused a mistrial purposefully. I think 179 days in jail. That is no light sentence. Oh, man, jurors. We need to have like a nationwide jury 101 class. I volunteer to teach it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It goes like this: tell the truth, follow the rules. That's the 2 days of lessons. Tell the truth, follow the rules. You tell the truth during voir dire, however you want to call this, and you follow the judge's rules. That is all. That's all you have to do to be good. Follow the judge's rules. The judge will give you everything else in the rule book, and what he tells you to do, and what you can and can't do in court, what you can and can't do out of court, what you do during deliberations. Everything else will be provided in that rule book. That's all you need to do. No whammies, no whammies. Shapiro's my least favorite lawyer I've ever watched in trial, just in my opinion, says AES. I will say I like Shapiro. Not as a person, but I think he's a very thorough lawyer. His client should not be disappointed in the work he provides. That he's a hardworking lawyer. I think I would put him on the side that I would include him in that group of people that gives lawyers a bad name in a lot of people's minds. But he's not a lazy lawyer. He's not he's not a dimwit. Okay, he's a smart guy. He can think things through. He can play chess at that extra dimension level. He's talented that way. Let's see, Emily D. Baker got asked out on a date once by a juror. He was excused, and she got teased by the judge and prosecutor. EDB. During a trial? Yeah, well, if he's excused, it must have been during a trial. Yeah, that's another way to get off the jury. See, it was initially thought to be a marshal and found out to be a juror. I know it happened at like an elevator or something. There was like an elevator run-in where defense or prosecution or something showed up in an elevator where some jurors were in there, and they're like, whoa, and they immediately just backed out, lips sealed, and then there was this exchange afterwards. All right. Are you planning on covering for fans only? The OnlyFans? OnlyFans trial is Courtney Clenny. No, I'm not. Because I like my YouTube channel, and I'm scared to death that in that trial where so much of the evidence is literally X-rated material, that the wrong thing can be shown on the camera for just an instant, and that would be my last day on YouTube. As interesting as that trial is for the murder, for the fact pattern of throwing a knife and killing someone, okay, that's like a super throw. That part's interesting to me. There's a lot of video about fights trying to say who was the aggressor on there. There's a lot of things in there that are interesting, but unfortunately, a lot of the testimony or the evidence that's going to be submitted, typically you had to be a member on OnlyFans to gain access to, and now that's going to be in court, and I can't risk that being shown even inadvertently on my channel. If Shapiro isn't a lazy lawyer, why was he on Reddit? Every lawyer is doing research. Every lawyer's doing research, and I would say it would be almost negligent of a lawyer not to be watching what's happening. Now, that doesn't mean getting involved and deputizing everyone on a subreddit to do work you couldn't do yourself as a lawyer. That is wrong, and if that happens, there will be sanctions. But just going out there, I mean, Greg Anderson. At the end of the day, he's watching Law and Lumber to see what Rob's process was, because he likes the way Rob thinks. The two think very similarly, and he wants to see and hear, both be critiqued as well as hear a different viewpoint that's also that's along the same thought pattern. It's like free advice, so it happens a lot.
Send someone with more experience.
It's like chess on crack. Greeners just emailed me the new Sarah Boone. Greeners, let me take a look at that. I don't think it's a letter. I haven't heard that we have a letter yet. I still need to talk to Dr. Joe. I might just have to call him. Let's see what Sarah Boone has happening here. There it is. Order setting pretrial conference for Sarah Boone. See, trial date's going to be May 13th. Excuse me. It's a 3-week trial docket beginning May 13th. Jury trial, courtroom 12A on the 12th floor, 9 a.m. in the Orange County Courthouse. Got pretrial scheduling conference. Motions to transfer, discovery, pretrial motions. There's a lot of stuff here. It's lawyering. This is the lawyering rules. Case trial management, miscellaneous. Don't see anything about media in here. I wonder if this new judge, instead of Judge Wooten, if this new judge is going to be more open to media than what we have. We'll have to pursue that and see what happens. Tiffany Zabrenick, the thumbnail for the OnlyFans trial would be epic. Oh my goodness, the thumbnail would get me banned as well. It would get me banned. We'd have to go and realize that because this is like because of the facts we're dealing with, we almost have to go in a sort of cartoon world to build this. We have to make it a little bit lighthearted because of the fact patterns in these cases. Becca Lynn says, it'll be difficult to understand Paula on Zoom in that courtroom. Would you please consider playing or sharing the link to Paula's interview on YouTube so addicts can hear what she has to say? I can't do that because I don't have the rights to that, and it's not like a court case. I can't just do that. I think the key part that we have from her case that we're going to hear from her, and we've listened to hard to hear testimony, is that she's going to say that it was not Tucker, that he was not either of the two people, that she knows his voice and and she heard both of them speak, and it was not him. She might say that it's wasn't his size. She might say more to it than that, but her declaration will be that it was not Tucker up in the treehouse. He was not one of the two people. Another juror on the Doulos case. When it rains, it pours, you guys. The marshal took the stand to say what happened. It was a juror, not the bailiff. Let's see, what are the details on this one? The Trichonis. I just had it on my screen and it disappeared. Where are we at in the Crumbly trial? It's moving forward. It has a pool photographer, one at a time. I think it starts on the 23rd. Starts on the 23rd. Wow. Sorry, I'm getting updates about the plane that was on fire in the sky over like Miami or whatever. Had a softball-sized hole in the engine. The plane was on fire. People filmed it from the ground. I think it landed just fine. Florida's nice that time of year, says Greeners. It's the bad advice you couldn't help but take. Let's see, kids watch Brandy's channel during the Travis Rudolph's trial and used to give feedback to Mark. Yes, it's very common. Paul also says the investigation was gravely mishandled. Thanks a lot, Ray. Yes, but the problem is that testimony is going to be excluded. It's, as frustrating as this is, a lot of the allegations of the state didn't do it right or they broke the rules, Tucker is not using either the right people or the right methods to get that evidence in, and there's going to be objection and it won't be allowed. So even though it's very pertinent for our information, it's going to be tough. So maybe he gets her to explain a situation that she can testify to directly about whether she was coerced or forced or pressured. In that case, it may come in, but we'll see. If she goes along that route, I think you're going to see some pretty stout objections that Tucker will need to argue the opposite side of, and then we'll also need the judge to rule in his favor. A lawyer thinks Boone is actually going to happen, a 50-50 chance. So this is a coin toss now on that one. It's going to be 4 years. Does anyone else hear Judge Manning when anyone says the word pretrial and stay out of Fulton County? It looks like Florida judgments use simple interest, which I feel makes sense. Maya's $210 million would get huge if compounded daily. It uses simple interest? I thought I heard that it was a daily compound. Well, that changes things a little bit. Doesn't grow quite as quickly. Okay. Are you leaning towards not guilty on this case? Ashley, I believe I'm very firmly on not guilty as far as a verdict. I don't know what Tucker was involved with. I don't know why he was hanging out in the warehouse, why he was there. He was what I would say in a bad situation, and I don't know what led him to that. But the evidence that's been presented to me that proves that he was there, there's only one piece. Tucker described this morning. There's only one piece of evidence that proves or that places him there. There's other evidence that it could be him. You've got two figures. One of them is shorter than the other, so the shorter guy could be Tucker. That's not proving that he was there. The only evidence that proves that he was there is from a admitted crackhead who was on a bender, whose testimony has been inconsistent in the past. Is his testimony style today to date here in this trial has been has given me the impression that he is very hostile towards Tucker, and he won't admit that he lied. I mean, that part, I can't get past that. He won't admit that he lied previously to the police, even though we have it on tape. His story changed, and he's got a million different excuses why he never lied. But that, for me, shows that he will say whatever he has to get what he wants out. Didn't Judge Carroll reduce the Kowalski amount? Yes, he did. We read that a couple days ago. That's the process of remitter. I think it's still down to like 213 million, somewhere in that range after remitter. So he dropped it down by 50 million, something like that. It's just a sizable chunk. But most of the verdicts he didn't touch. He did say he'd do anything to get out of a life sentence. Broken Baker, I agree but some of those words, like when he says, "Hey, what do you guys need? I'll do whatever you need." I don't take that as what's the phrase? I'll be your. There was a. Never mind. I won't go there. I can't remember the word, but there's a phrase that basically says, "You've bought and paid for my soul. Whatever you need, I'm your hands and your mouthpiece. I'll do whatever you want." I don't take it that it was to that extent. He was just like, "Yeah, you need me to testify. Yeah, I'll do that. If you need that, I'll testify." I didn't take that as a open, like, you get the idea of like somebody in a traffic ticket who's trying to flirt with the cop and offer services in return for not getting a ticket. It's like, "What do you want, officer? Whatever you need, anything." You see that in the movies all the time. I didn't get that same vibe from Travis on this one. But I do think that he was more interested in saving himself, and we'll cross the line to be able to do that. I'll be your Huckleberry. No, was it your Huckleberry? Is that the Aladdin and the Genie? Opportunistic. I don't remember. There was something else. I'm thinking back to a hot mic moment. Somebody can help me here. Utah governor, let's see. Before the current governor, who was it? After Levitt, was it Huntsman? Was it Governor Huntsman was caught at like a dinner, a fancy plate dinner, like $1,000 a plate dinner, basically saying this phrase, and it's a phrase from a movie or something where he basically, if I remember correctly, he's like, "Hey, you give me the donation, I'll make whatever you want happen." That's what the allegation was on that one. Which movies are you watching, says Adam. YouTube, unfortunately. It's all over YouTube. Scapegoat. Imagine someone like Mark Scheiner looking at this weak state case and thinking, nah, let's plead. Like, really? Defense lawyers would punch holes in this for target practice. It's so flimsy. John Huntsman Jr. Somebody knows the quote, right? Somebody knows the quote. Let's see. Misty Richard says, Recovery Addict, I'm sorry, but I'm offended on behalf of Greg, who was watching on another lawyer on YouTube for self-correction compared to turning to Reddit for facts against innocent people. That's funny. Misty, I chuckle at that one. I assume you wrote that in sarcasm font. Let's see. We're getting close to when we need to break for lunch, so I'm not sure we can pick up another trial right now. Let's see if somebody else is in court that's worth jumping in on. Let's see, Cedric Simpson, but we can't watch him. Judge Boyd, is she live? Can't tell. I need readers. That's what I need. Jeffrey Middleton's live. He's a fun one, but he doesn't let us use his anymore either. Lots of stuff. Man, so much good stuff. How do you guys choose? Honestly, how do you guys choose what you want to watch during the day? I have so many choices out there. Evangeline Light says, I'm late. What happened? This morning's was spicy. We had... It began the day with Mr. Tucker being a couple minutes late, but he beat the judge into the courtroom. So
sent me a video of roaches fighting.
I don't know who won. Mr. Tucker was a little bit late. There was a risk of him getting a warrant, but the judge was later, so that didn't happen. Then we had a motion judgment for judgment of acquittal, or a directed verdict, which was I would say handled poorly on Tucker's part. He used it as a soapbox moment to vent his anger on a lot of things. He did get around to the argument for judgment of acquittal and did, I would say, an effective job of leading those points, but it really should have been just those points. The judge was very frustrated that he was throwing in all the extracurricular stuff, lots of objections, many were sustained. Judge let him free spool a little bit. But after all that, the judge obviously denied it. And I think, honestly, the judge made the right decision there because of the principal law, where anyone who's involved is guilty of all the offenses in this case, or can be charged with all the offenses. Let's see. Parole hearings, probably not enough that we can watch a parole hearing right now. We'll probably just talk this one through. Can you please show us the photos Reverend Beasy sent you? Hell Diamonds, hang on one second. These are the snow photos. Just one second. I'm trying if it will let me share. I have to... Okay, here we go. Share this to my MacBook Pro. Got a couple more pictures. Just one second. And this is some good camera work, by the way. We've got an emotional support zebra that's out in the snow enjoying the weather. Just one second. It's transferring. It's just doing it slowly. All right. This one.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
We're going to break for lunch soon. Give me a second. Let me show these two pictures. Here we go. There's one. That's a very bundled up picture of an emotional support zebra out in the snow. And here's another one, a little better view. Let's take this off the screen so you can see it. I've got an emotional support zebra here in my studio, right here. It's a little stuffed animal, courtesy of Reverend Beasy. But there's one out in the wild enjoying the weather. You don't often see a zebra in the snow, but thank you, Reverend Beasy, for the pictures. And I'm jealous of your camera, by the way. But there you go, Diamonds. Are you following the Doulos trial? I'm only just I'm tied up in this one until I'm done, so I haven't been focusing on a lot of other things. Let's see. Why aren't you allowed to watch some any longer? Chris McNabb. A lot of judges are going and basically asserting their right to control what happens with the video from the courtroom. I'm not a big fan of this. I think once it goes on YouTube, we should all have the right to do what we do. And some people out there use it a ton. But I'll throw a good guy out there. Law Talk with Mike uses video. He doesn't care where it comes from. He'll use video that says "do not record" all over it. But where I'm coming from is what we're trying to do as a channel. What I'm trying to do is go out to 2 different states, 2 different courtrooms, and be media in the courtroom to bring cases that you're not getting somewhere else. That's what I'm building right now, and we're working on that as we speak. If I go and burn bridges and I walk into a courtroom and apply to a judge to be a pool media feed for a case, and they're like, "Oh, I know you. I've seen you on YouTube. You're the one who steals my video that you're not supposed to steal." It burns a bridge and possibly puts me in a very dangerous position legally for them when I'm in their courtroom, in their jurisdiction. So because of that, I have to respect the rules on that one. I believe in transparency. I wish there was a ton more. I think all courts should be open to everybody. Now, there are things that should be sealed. Some witnesses, child victims, things like that. Law Talk with Mike is almost to 200K. My favorite attorney from Chicago right there. That's why you have 2 channels. No, Greeners, unfortunately, the way YouTube works, if one channel gets banned, I lose both my channels. Filing FOIA requests is the bane of my existence. Oh, it's fun. At the same time, it's awful. Some of the responses, man, I would tell you, Vicky, some of the responses I got from California on FOIA requests are amazing. Like, you file a request and they're like, you can leave it in a voicemail, you can text me, you can email it, you can go online and fill out the form, you can fax it, you can send it in a letter. Any way you want, you can file this, and we'll put this together. And then as soon as you file it, somebody calls, "Hi, I'm your personal representative here to walk you through this FOIA request. Thanks for calling the state of California. We're happy to help." And you're like, what have I walked into? This is heaven. This is better than Florida, right? And then they send it to the people who are supposed to get the video. And then you begin the circus. Because with all the smiles and help and everything on the front end, on the back end, it is like Fort Knox, extracting video, audio, any reports. It's a pain in the butt. And the guys on the front are like, "Sorry, yep, you can't do that. They've transferred the case. Somebody else has the paperwork. Good luck finding it." It's a nightmare. I've still haven't gotten my information about the dog bite. Why is the dog biting this guy? We filed requests all over that one, and they just sent me in circles. And they're done. They won't reply. All right. I bet Middleton will work for you if you ask. I could. Some of them. I think it's easier if I don't know. I might reach out to a couple of them. Middleton probably would. I don't think Fulton County. Don't think she would. This information is fascinating. Sorry, it's behind the scenes. This is how it goes. Where is your cow? My cow wandered outside the fence and was escaping up on the bookshelf, but he's still here. He's been squeezed a lot by my daughter, who loves squeezing it. But she was also the one who squeezed and possibly may have led to the catastrophe that happened, the utter disaster on the last one. The cow doesn't fit there when I have Mrs. R.A.'s headphones plugged in. So what you're saying is the front of the FOIA request is like the candy store from Willy Wonka, and the back is like the warehouse in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is a great analogy, Culperistic. Very, 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 very accurate. Let's see. Teach me what? Teach me what? Hang on. That's why I have two accounts. I have a screaming goat because I love EDB, and because I have a lot of screaming goat moments. I don't know where I'm. Oh, there he is. I've got one as well. I will say it always looks bigger when Mike uses it. So I'm not sure if Mike has tiny hands, or maybe he has a bigger version of the goat. It's pretty much the same voice, but I imagined it being like, yay tall, and it's a little tiny guy. Not even YouTube channels can get away with a soft sit argument. Let's see. Californians in their own world. They're very, very different. See, Courtroom has all their feeds. Wonder if they got permission. Some of the big agencies, the big outlets that follow courts, they've got whole teams of people filing paperwork, filing motions, even lawyers arguing for access. And that's huge. And then once they get the access, they've obviously got crews in basically every city that they can staff and send there in a moment's notice. Did the feed cut for you, Vicky? I apologize. Let's see. When they ask for hundreds of dollars, I'm sorry. What? Yeah. FOIA requests. I don't believe that should be a source of significant income for any state government. Now I can understand the cost associated with it, especially if you have burdensome requests, saying I'd like a copy of every email that any governor has ever sent or received that includes the word egg salad. That's a huge request. They've got to dig through a million things. I believe that it would be right to do that. That's a fishing expedition, right? I don't know why you'd fish for egg salad, but if you send a request and say, hey, I need the copy of this email, I'd like a copy of the email or the letter that Sarah Boone sent to the governor between this date and this date, which I sent to Governor Santos. They received my request, and they still have not provided that letter. And that should be a little bit easier. That's a few pages, but they're sitting on it. I doubt it will ever get processed at this point. Hope Mrs. R.A. loved her movie last night. She fell asleep during it. I ended up closing the iPad because it was still playing. Do we start again at 1 p.m.? Yes, a little bit before. So we're going to actually take a, let's see. We start at 12:55. We've got a little time. We can go somewhere. Why did I think we only had an hour left? We've got 2 hours. Middleton's one of the nicest guys on the planet, and he's had a ponytail. One of the few judges with a ponytail. A few male judges, I should say.
Break for lunch, Judge.
Those are my principles, and if you don't like them, well, I have others. Mom Jagger, that is funny. Behind the scenes of a YouTube creator, an honest one. I try. I learn a lot. I wish I could say I knew everything that I was doing, but man, I learn a lot by trial and error, and I just try to make it better every day. Just emailed Tampa Bay article with Shapiro comments to Judge Carroll, says Sherry. There have been lots of screaming goat moments in the Treehouse trial. I've been trying not to interrupt because Culperistic, even though I will stand by this and swear by it. I believe Tucker would have been better served in his trial with the judge, the interaction in court, if he had a lawyer than if he was pro se. I understand what Lauren told us and the reason why he's pro se, and that part is working. But it might end up working in him getting an appeal after conviction, whereas an attorney may have been able to get him a better outcome. It's getting really close to the line, and it's dangerous for him. You missed Beezy building a snow zebra. I just finally said this morning. I saw it. It's right here. The snow zebra. Right there. Have to be careful showing that because when people text, your number might show. Debbie says, so nice to see Mrs. Ari last night. She was on the podcast with me. Had to do it on the replay, which I'd been able to catch it live. That was a lot of fun. I love having Mrs. Ari on with me. Amber, I'm sorry. Little double entendre is happening. Unintentional. Yeah. I was going to say something, but then I didn't. Here be dragons about California. I love Runkle. Ian is such a great guy. I love listening to him. All right, where are we at? The Greener says, Gmail says I have 29 emails matching egg salad in the last 20 years. I don't think it'd be too much in the governor's mansion. The problem is, Greeners, that emails would be one thing, but if you're searching handwritten letters and typed letters and everything else, that's a huge database to maintain. And you're going in, you're unarchiving, data that hasn't been touched in years and restoring that back on the server and then searching it and then archiving it again because that's just so much data. Could add a Zoom feed to the thumbnail. I've got to be careful about brand names. That's why I added SVC instead of that other pharmacy on the thumbnail that we have now. We're currently looking. This is our current version as it stands right now. But we've added the pharmacy right here. Where's that? Let's see if I can zoom in. So we've got the pharmacy with the open symbol. It's SVC. With the yellow heart in the background. I think that's changed enough that nobody knows what we're talking about. We have a little bit of a doo-doo that happened there. We've got Eeyore, the judge, represented. I moved the tarp down to hang off the banister, and we put a Detroit symbol up on the flag. Let's see, we added a little pot. There's a little flower pot, is what we're talking about. Flower pot in the window of the camper. That was good. Anything else? I think that's it. I think that's all we have right now. Oh, no. Let's check out the truck. Look what happened to the truck, unfortunately. Look at the side of the truck. It's all scratched up. Somebody just really, really did a number on the truck. So that's there as well. So it's all updated. John says, I'm sending off 2 cans of Stevens Hot Chocolate for you and the fam. John, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Love it. Mrs. R.A. will be thrilled. A scarf or neck gaiter. We looked at those. They're just, it's going to be so small that it's going to be hard to show. Should put tally marks for how many times he was late. That's a great idea, Jamie. I like that one. We might add that underneath the well. Let's do that really quick while we're thinking about it. Okay, we're going to be right down here. We're going to ungroup these. I'm going to move this up. We're going to search for tally marks. We need 4 of them. Oh, let's do 5. Is 5 all right? Oh, that's a ton. That's too many. We need, let's see all. It's the same one. This one. There we go. Make it red. No, it's small. We're going to zoom in and get it fixed here. Sorry, guys. There we go. There's the tally marks. That's a great idea, Jamie. Thank you very much. All right. Donkey needs a gavel. It gets hard to edit those. Add a Detroit Lions flag. Go Lions, says Jennifer. We've got to keep the teams out of this. But Detroit's... I was going to do just a big D for Detroit. Was he late today? He was late, according to my clock, but he was got there before the judge was there, so it wasn't counted against him. All right, do we have a water pitcher? I have not put a water pitcher on there. Melissa says, is it possible to turn on closed caption for Paula's testimony? Melissa, here's the problem. Closed captioning takes time to process, and where we are watching in basically real time, the system that can edit it takes at least 15 to 20 seconds. So I could turn on a delay, and then if I were to say something, you would hear it 15 to 20 seconds later. It makes conversation back and forth very difficult. And then still, it can only do as well as what it can hear. So if it hears something else, it would be like a Mad Libs version of closed caption. It's not magic. It can't just determine what she said. What about a warehouse? I don't know where we'd put it. Down the road from the CVS in the background? TV with Zoom on it in the tree. Zoom hasn't been that, well, we've got a little bit. Let me see how it goes today to see if we want to add Zoom. We do have a coffee cup in the picture. You can see that. It's on the railing right up here by the Coconut Telegraph. Right there. There's our coffee cup. All right. Hospital bed. No. Can we request a mic be put in front of the television? Becca, the problem is I described that the putting a mic in front of a speaker is the worst thing to do for audio, for the quality of the audio. It would make it louder, but also harder to hear because it picks up the noise and the static and it amplifies everything. You really need a good sound guy to run a soundboard for everything, and then disperse the feeds through that. That's the only good way to do it. I think Becca means in the thumbnail. Do we have a? We don't have a TV in the thumbnail. We've got a security camera up in the palm tree, but that's it. All right. Okay. No flip-flops. I know that Travis probably spends a lot of time on the beach with flip-flops or something similar, but he showed up in court using tennis shoes, so I don't think we have flip-flops in trial yet. 3,000 years in the future, an alien civilization might find this thumbnail and attempt to glean information about how we lived. They were pack rats. They built houses out of trash. What was your suggestion, SF? I didn't see it. Let me go back. There's a lot of things I'm missing here. Dandelion for the weed. We added actual weed. I renegotiated my adamant refusal, my prior refusal, and if you look over here, we put a weed growing in the pot in the window right here. So we have representation of weed. I can put the closed captioning on. It will cause a huge delay. It's basically a difficulty on my part because I won't be able to interact with you. I'll basically just ignore chat for the day and just talk because it makes the conversation have 30-second gaps between a question and an answer or a question and a response. And I can promise you it's not going to be good. But I can turn it on for the next feed if you want. But this will be proof. And when I'm done afterwards, you'll have to all call in, dial in, and admit you were wrong. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's not going to work. Bad audio does not lead to good closed captioning. Let's see. What time is court back? Court's going to be back in the Treehouse case at 12:55 or so is when the judge says to be back. So we're going to be back about 12:45. So we have about an hour and a half of lunchtime if you want. Judge Boyd wasn't live when I checked a minute ago. Let me check again. Maybe I was on an old feed. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see that she's live here. Hang on. Let's see who is.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
Let's see who's this one. Burnett County. Have we done this before? Have we gone?
Nature and the gravity of the offense. Here we have use. You're in possession of illegal substances. You're with people that you probably shouldn't be hanging around, doing things that you probably should not be doing. And by probably, it's a big bet you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. Not that there is any probably there.
There's no public Zoom
substance
access
abuse issues, and they've been going on for a significant period of time, at least dating back to around 2006. And I don't know if the 4th degree sexual assault predated your use, or if you started using after whatever that conviction and what happened and transpired there took place. I don't know, but you do have a significant history of substance abuse. When I look at yourself, your past criminal history, you do have that 13 convictions, and they range in severity of offenses. You do have rehabilitative prospects. A lot of this stems from your addictions, and you do need treatment and help. You're looking at going to treatment. It's going to be outpatient treatment. Perhaps you should try the outpatient, but perhaps you need an inpatient treatment to look more thoroughly at your addiction and how to avoid using those substances. But that is up to you and your probation agent and where you think you're going to go. I have to look at the community and needing to protect the public. Again, and I'm looking at my case. I can take all of these other things into account when I'm deciding what to do with sentencing. But with my case and keeping the community safe, again, this was a small amount of methamphetamine. You did carry a concealed knife. You should not have been doing that. However, you didn't get rough or violent or disrespectful to law enforcement. You were resisting or obstructing and not quite cooperating the way that you legally are required to cooperate. But this occurred in April 2023. You want to resolve it and you want to do it quickly, and you're accepting the responsibility and you're being accountable. So all of those things are going to come into play here with the court sentencing. I do believe probation is necessary for you. I can't say that probation has been successful. You may have successfully completed probation other times. You may have been sentenced after probation, but I can't very well say that probation has been successful for you. And so I'm going to warn you not with me or my cases or anything that's in front of me or maybe in front of me, because you're not my resident and I don't have you in front of me or very often. But the next time, Mr. Peterson, the very next time that you get in trouble, if you're on probation, you could go to prison. All right? You could go to prison. You are a young man, and if you're going to stay in this life and this lifestyle and what you're doing now, the next time you could be in prison, and there may be no way to avoid that. I don't think that this is a prison sentence based upon the facts of the case, even though you do have a lengthier criminal history and you do have addiction needs. And I do see that treatment is something that you need desperately. But I can't say at this time that you need treatment that you can only get in an institutional setting or by confinement. So this is not a prison sentence here today. And I don't think in the long run, even if you're revoked off of probation, that it would be a prison sentence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to probation. I'm only going to do 2 years of probation. You have other cases to worry about. They can figure out if you need a lengthier probation. But as to my probation, it will be 2 years of probation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an imposed and stayed 1 year in the county jail, 1 year in the county jail. If you are revoked, you will not come back in front of me. You will automatically go and sit that time for this sentence in the county jail. I will give you 4 days of jail credit because you have sat that. Conditions of probation will be absolute sobriety, no use or possession of any illegal drugs, substances, or paraphernalia, no alcohol, no going into any establishment that has the primary purpose for the sale or the service of alcohol. Successfully complete your outpatient treatment and follow all of those requirements. I'm going to order that you apply for Douglas County Drug Court when you are a resident of Douglas County, and that if you're admitted, that you must successfully complete drug court. I'm going to order gainful employment, and that would be per your agent, when your agent believes that you are in a position to be able to do that, as well as it relates and works with drug court. I'm going to assess $250 in DNA surcharge. I will waive the remaining court costs and fees. You have $250 posted, so at least with that aspect, you're good to go. I'm ordering that you provide your DNA to the jail. You can request that it be expunged from the record with a written letter to the Department of Justice. Google it or ask your attorney. It's easy to do. You have 20 days to appeal. Should you fail to appeal within 20 days, you do lose that right. No use or possession of a firearm for life. No voting in any election until your civil rights are restored. I'm also going to say that you can have no contact with anyone who is on felony probation without your probation officer's approval. That does not include anyone who is in drug court. If you are admitted to drug court, that is an exclusion. And that doesn't include anyone who is in any type of treatment with you, whether it be outpatient or inpatient. That is an exclusion, but again, to be controlled by your probation agent. I think I've covered everything, Mr. Schmidt.
Nothing from me.
Mr. Pollack.
I think that's it, Your Honor. I think you covered appeal, right? So I don't think there's anything else.
I did, thank you. Mr. Peterson, you seem like a nice young man. You're getting to the age, you're almost 40. You're getting to the age where you're going to be celebrating your 40th birthday and you're going to be clean and sober and you're going to be having the life that you've been looking forward to, or you're going to be sitting in prison. I hope you make the right choice and make the changes that you need to make. All right. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Wow. Powered by Zoom. Zoom made that one happen. Interesting. I just found that one and thought I'd jump in there at the last minute. We have an hour and 15 minutes of lunch break coming up. So before we break, let's see, is there anything else we need to cover? I wasn't born with thorns. Libby, I'll look into that case. You said Ryan Schick in Sawyer, Wisconsin. I don't know anything about the case as far as the charges. I think we've talked think we talked about it before. Somebody mentioned that before, but I'd like to know what the charges are. Obviously, if it's one that we can't follow, I won't put it on the list, but if it's one we can, I'll definitely list it. Wisconsin's generally pretty open to video cameras in the courtroom, so we might be able to check that out. Anything in Thurston County? Let me look at Thurston really quickly, see if anything's happened up there. These are commissioners' meetings. That's not the one. We want Thurston County 4, right? District 4. Let's see. They've got 2 days ago. They had a district court civil department protection order calendar in District 4. Then if we go to hard to jump around here. Just one second. District 1. Traffic infractions, contested hearings. What does PNW? Oh, you were in Monroe, right? Monroe was where we were looking for that one. Yeah, that's not going to be here. 3. Probation calendar. Lacey court calendar. Not seeing anything there. And lastly, 2. Yeah, probation. I'm not seeing a lot from them at all, and none of them are live right now. Judge Boyd just went live. By the way, Selena, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Appreciate your generosity. Let's take a look at Judge Boyd really quickly just to see what she has going on right now. And then we're going to get ready for lunch. Okay,
and then we're waiting for Joanne Eckel.
She's calling the roll this morning. That's the first thing she does every day.
Mr. Piker is conferring. All right, John, Renee Gardia. Renee Gardia. All right, could I see the file on Renee Gardia? But Sean, I always answer every email before I leave, and then when I come back,
I understand it exactly what you need done.
I'm like, why is this here? And I answered emails at 7 p.m. So who is sending emails after 7 p.m.? I don't know.
Sometimes I get a few from Norma.
I'm always working.
I'm like, oh my goodness, still working.
She's just getting started on the day. I was hoping she would say if she has like a criminal docket or a trial or what's going on today. But the flowers are real. Tom, we know this because we sent her some, and they sat behind her for about a week or so. Yes, people sent her flowers, and she's actually received flowers from somebody that appeared before her in court, and she was hard on them. She really cracked down, and afterwards he came back and thanked her and brought her flowers and says, thanks, I needed that. Thanks for saving me by doing that. We are going to be back at 12:45, Nicole. There's a new video on Long Crime about Las Vegas pro se Robert Tellis. I'll have to look at that. Let's see, do we have him on our list already? I think I've got him. Let's see, where's Robert Tellis? Okay, he's let's see, March 18th. He's accused of killing an investigative journalist. He's Clark County, pro se. So we've already got him on the calendar. We are watching that one. That's coming up. Anyone can see court records in Wisconsin.
You know that I think it's in this court, the one with Manny and Eddie. It's the dog bite case that I got to put second chair on.
Boyd has a continuing trial after lunch. So she started it yesterday, right? What was the trial about as far as the charges? Do you know? But what was she in court for yesterday? She was doing jury selection the other day. Did they actually, I mean, if it just says she had opening statements or anything, or is it just video when Robert Tellis, accused killer, claims real estate firm frames him for reporter's murder? Okay. Been waiting for Tellis. That sounds like an interesting one. We're gonna dig into that a little bit. Not so much as watching all the other people's videos about it, but digging into the facts of the case, the timeline, the judge, media access, what is already in place in relation to media access that way. I've been in Las Vegas a lot. I used to work there. I used to be a regional salesman covering that area. So I've spent way too long in Las Vegas. Enough to know that there's nothing interesting for me on this trip. Oh my goodness. I don't gamble, and the nightlife is not for me either. So Las Vegas, if it's not in the buffet, I'm probably not going. They have some good shows. I'd like to see like Blue Man Group or something. That would be good. Let's see. Wood's always prepared. All right. We'll let it slide for now, and we're going to go to lunch because we have an hour and 15 minutes before we're going to be back with the Treehouse trial. The jury's going to be back. We anticipate this not the last day, but possibly the second to last day. As Mr. Tucker is going to be putting on witnesses in his own defense. The first one's going to be Paula, who's testifying via Zoom. She's doing very poorly health-wise. She's in the hospital. She's going to be testifying via Zoom. Testifying for him, even though she was the surviving victim in the case, she's going to testify that it was not him. He was not one of the two people there. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to watch that, and then he says he's got more witnesses to call next week as well. The judge has slated that this trial can last as far as the 2nd of February. I'm not sure if we're going to do that. Mr. Tucker may have witnesses lined up for quite a while, trying to get in all the evidence that he has, because he's got some complaints about this case, and he wants to bring all of that in. It'll take the right witness and the judge allowing it to make it happen, but we're going to see. All right, catch you guys after lunch, Britta. Sounds good. Remember, if you want to win the internet and be like Ashley, who said, hey, this morning and won the internet, just have to be first in chat. Be first in chat when we put the thumbnail up. Not when we go live, but when we first put the thumbnail up, be the first person in chat. And you too could have internet ownership on your resume, or, as the case may be, rap sheet. RA, tell Mrs. RA we loved her last night. Melissa, I will do that. Thank you very much. She was super nervous, but it went so well. Thank you all for that. Lights are twinkling bright today. They are. We'll have to reset the frame rate again, I think. The frame rate's not correct. What did we say? It was 100 frames per second? I might do that over lunch. We'll get that fixed. All right, be kind to each other tonight. When you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again, which will be at 12:45 this afternoon. We'll see you guys this afternoon. Missed the post. Missed the post. That's what they call this. Now we're ready. All right. We'll see you guys. Oh, that was the wrong thing. That was the wrong thing. This is the right thing. All right, see you guys after lunch.
Is that correct?
Oh. Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Somebody just sent